background to the Attlee-Truman discussions, 1 million people cram New York Central Park to hear the president outline America's stand on atomic power.
There has been talk about the atomic bomb. We must find the answer to the problems created by the release of atomic energy. Indeed, the highest hope of the American people is that world cooperation for peace will soon reach such a state of perfection that atomic methods of destruction can be definitely and effectively outlawed forever.
Осталось 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Нажатие кнопки, все осветилось ярчайшим.
Far beyond normal shipping routes they lie, and until 1952, only pearl fishing boats entered the blue waters and left the cliffs surrounding their shores.
Censored by the French authorities, but this picture is impressive evidence of the bomb.
Demonstrates the great results of the cooperation of education with research. This is another victory.
Emergency alert system capabilities.
This is an emergency action notification.
National Alert and Warning Authorities, in coordination with emergency alert system participants.
My fellow Americans, as you know, our attempts at preventing nuclear war have failed.
Finally, Mars has accepted my sacrifices and unleashes me.
I see you, enemy. I see you, enemy. Enemy! Enemy! You are my enemy! And I swear total resistance to you with everything I've got. Disingenuous, fake, false, broke back, twisted, a defiler, a betrayer, a backstabber, a devil! You will pay. Yeah, you think I don't see your face, scum? You don't think I don't see you? I see you, you understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that? You will fall! You will not bring humanity down! God is going to destroy you!
All right, sorry about that. I had a quick work call. Check. Check. Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing, I don't know, just hanging out. Doing a quick little hangout for a couple hours, end of the day with my work. And then I am going to go watch the hockey game tonight, so. Oh, no. Now they want to hang. Oh, shit. Hold on. Now they want to hop on another call. I'm just going to put something on, so. Where are we at here?
Is it going to begin this Friday? That's the plan. That's the plan. All right. Well, let's jump into this. So, it appears as though Pixie is taking Steven to court, after all, taking Destiny to court. Case was filed yesterday. My initial exposure to this was JStock published this on Twitter, and somebody published that in the Discord server. So, this is from Destiny's chat talking about it. We're going to go over some stuff. Thought you were done talking about Destiny? We're not talking about Destiny. We're talking about a legal proceeding. This is different. This is not Destiny drama. This is Destiny legal drama, which is not the same. They look the same. They definitely smell the same. But they're not the same. So the order goes from top to bottom. Well, I guess I can finally talk about things now. Jesus. Wait, where's the Imgur album of the docs? Or is there a court docket somewhere? Thank you, Sunken Submarine. Want to know what her first demand was? Ever since Lauren started talking to her on the 9th, this has been the most insane extortion scheme I have ever used against me in my entire life. Since the 9th? Ever since they started talking on it? I don't think that's true. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. This is her first demand. Okay, so this is the first thing that I'm confused by, to be honest. Oh, naked down there. There we go. That's better. This is what this. Don't even want to know what that was down there. This is what's being referred to. What is that? Okay, it's just a meme. Good. You never know. Anyways. Quote, this is apparently a demand letter sent to Destiny, I'm assuming, by Pixie's lawyer. I don't know if this is real. Like, that's the thing. It's as a result of this violation, my client has suffered considerable harm, including but not limited to severe emotional anguish, damage to personal relationships, and public humiliation. The unlawful actions have disrupted my client's personal and professional life, and we are now compelled to seek monetary compensation for these damages. In light of the foregoing, we hereby demand the following. Immediate monetary compensation for the damages caused by the unauthorized disclosure of intimate images. Specifically, my client is entitled to at least $15 million. In compensation for emotional distress, reputational harm, pain and suffering, loss of privacy, the loss of personal and professional standing, and the ongoing impact on my client's life. A formal written apology from you acknowledging your role in the unauthorized disclosure and the harm it caused. 3, immediate cessation of any further disclosure or dissemination of the intimate images, and written assurance that, after an agreement has been reached, all copies of the images in your possession or under your control will be permanently deleted. 4, reimbursement of legal fees associated with addressing this violation, including the drafting and sending of this demand letter. Failure to resolve this matter within 5 business days from the date of this letter will leave us no choice but to pursue legal action to the full extent of the law to seek compensatory and punitive damages as well as injunctive relief. This, by the way, dear children, is not extortion. Just to be clear, this is definitionally not extortion. Does anyone in the class want to tell us why? Why is this not extortion? the ask is insane. $15 million is wildly unrealistic, but why is this not extortion? I'll explain why I don't think it's fake in a second, but they're threatening legal action. The threat is legal action. We will pursue legal action to the full extent of the law if you don't settle this within 5 days to seek compensatory and punitive damages as well as injunctive relief. That's why. Anything extra legal.
Oh, this is the fucking lawsuit. Fucking Pixie's asking for 15 mil, bro. 15 mil is ridiculous. She's not going to get anywhere near that, dude.
Is extortion. You threaten anything extra legal, it's extortion. Consequences are legal action only, exactly. That is so important. So this may look silly. $15 million is a choice. But this is completely above board. This is completely legal. There's no way this can actually backfire in a legal sense. None. Okay? Now, here's why I actually think this is real. I don't have confirmation this is real, but here's why I think this is real. Stephen here is saying that this was from the 9th, right? So this is early. My conversations with Straighteraid were such that she said that the ambitious asks that she had to talk Pixie down from were inspired by Lauren De Laguna, who's apparently called Lauren Hayden. I don't care. So I would not be surprised if this was a demand letter that was sent early, before she's talking to her current lawyers. That would be my guess. That's my guess. My dad always said that you start with a high number because it gets haggled down. 15 million is crazy. That's not a high number. That's crazy. Lassiel, thanks for the $10 US. 15 million is crazy, but they will likely settle for less. That being said, I think Destiny needs a harsh punishment, so that if he does not repent, he can at least be too scared to do this again. Well, I don't think this is connected to the current case. So I'll show you what was actually posted about the current case, right? So this is what Destiny published today in response to the current case being filed. And it's here. I need to center this a little bit. Maybe I'll just make it bigger. Can I just scroll down? Yeah, I can just scroll down. Okay. So if I click on that, how big does that get? Okay, that'll work. So JStock posted this, okay? We're just gonna go through this quickly. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can actually see it. Okay. So, Jane Doe versus Stephen Bonnell. Complaint. To the Honorable Court comes now plaintiff Jane Doe, by and through her undersigned counsel, and very respectfully states, alleges, and prays as follows. Nature of action. 1. This action seeks to hold defendant accountable for its unauthorized, intentional, and unlawful disclosure and dissemination of intimate images and sexually explicit videos of the plaintiff, thereby causing plaintiff extreme emotional and physical distress, depression, anxiety, and harm to her personal and professional reputation. Plaintiff seeks injunctive relief, compensatory and punitive damages, attorney fees, and any other relief this honorable court deems just and proper as a result of defendant's unlawful, extreme, and outrageous conduct towards plaintiff. 2. Plaintiff brings claims pursuant to, inter alia, the Intimate Image Protection Act, 15 U.S.C. 6851, the Sexual Cyber Harassment Statute, Florida Statute 784-049, and other Florida laws pertaining to the right of privacy, public disclosure of private facts, and the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Jurisdiction and venue. This court has subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1331 because this action arises under the laws of the United States. We get all this. Parties. Plaintiff Jane Doe is a citizen of the United States, a resident of Miami-Dade County, Florida. Plaintiff brings his complaint anonymously due to the intimate and sensitive nature of the materials which form the subject matter of the complaint. Defendant Stephen K. Bonnell is a citizen of the United States and a resident of Miami Beach, Florida. His address is now legally doxed, which is kind of interesting. Factual allegations. Benel, known online as Destiny, is a live streamer and political commentator. He has over 840,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. He has a huge following on X, Kick, Reddit, and Discord. It would have been higher than 840,000 a couple weeks ago. Benel had over 700,000 followers on his Twitch channel before he was banned from Twitch in March 2022 due to hateful conduct. Plaintiff, known online as Pixie, this is actually not confirmed, by the way. Plaintiff, known online as Pixie, is also a live streamer as well as an influencer. Pixie has 15,000 followers on X, and on Twitch, she has 10,000 followers. 10. Plaintiff began conversing with Benel on the Discord platform when she was approximately 19 years old. Benel was approximately 33 years old. At that time, Plaintiff was a new streamer in the same niche as Benel, politics. 11. Approximately 2 years later, on or about September 12th, 2020, after multiple conversations about consent and boundaries, Plaintiff engaged in sexual relations with Benel. Plaintiff was inexperienced and had only had physical relations with one other person prior to Benel. This was the only time Plaintiff and...
Hey, what's up, Mino? Someone suing Destiny on behalf of Pixie? Well, I think the plaintiff is Jane Doe. So either that or it is just Pixie. I'm not sure. But whoever it is, they're asking for 15 mil. So, I mean, they're not going to get anywhere near that, but still bad, man. Yeah, 15. He's on right now. I'm curious what if he's talking about it. Let's see. Turn on the lights. What happened? Read it on stream. Blah 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 blah.
This. I don't know too many New Yorkers, but people told me that it actually did cut down like significantly on.
All right, I guess he's not. I think he actually said he's gonna talk about it more in depth next week.
Benel had sexual relations during this one.
You think so? Why do you think it's gonna get thrown out?
Occasion, Benel recorded videos of Plaintiff and him engaging in sexual conduct. 12. Unbeknownst to Plaintiff at the time, on or about October 4th, 2022, Benel disseminated through electronic means one of the videos, to a 19-year-old... Oh, that's interesting. Videos in plural. The video to a 19-year-old woman using the screen name Rose. Rose was a random fan of Benel's on his Discord platform that reached out to him on Discord. Benel had never met Rose, despite knowing nothing about Rose and not even knowing her real name. Benel intentionally shared the video with Rose without Plaintiff's knowledge or consent. On or about November 29th, 2024, the sexually explicit video of Plaintiff that Benel had shared with Rose was uploaded on Kiwi Farms. The video was also shared on multiple other pornography websites. The caption on the video on the different platforms identify both Shortly after the video was posted, various friends and random followers of Plaintiff inform her about the dissemination of the video. Some of the messages are very accusatory. She is shocked, humiliated, and mortified by the dissemination of the sexually explicit video. As of today's...
What's up, Malkaz? I doubt it. I think he said that there was somebody played a clip earlier of him, like, literally saying that he's considering talking more about it in depth next week. I'm sure he has to get prepped by lawyers before he does something like that. Can he talk about it? That's fucking... he shouldn't. He shouldn't be talking about it. That's for sure.
To date, the video has been viewed on the undisclosed site over 10,000 times, I'm assuming it's going to say. It has been viewed on the site over 58,000 times. It had at least... That was contradictory. Doesn't matter. It had at least as many views on other websites, but it has since been removed. It is still on Kiwi Farms. I shouldn't actually say that. But the site does not have... Doesn't matter, everybody knows. But the site does not have a number tracker, so the number of views is unknown, but estimated to be in the tens of thousands. There were over 10,000 views, but it has since been removed. On the evening of November 29th, 2024, plaintiff sends a message to Bunnell on Discord expressing her horror that he shared the video of her. She asks if he sent any additional pornographic videos to anyone. He admits his guilt, responding, there shouldn't be no. I'm so sorry. There's literally no excuse. I had had phone convos and stuff with this person. They were fairly close to me. It's worthless to say it at the...
You can look up Florida law in regards to the statute they're suing under, and the maximum penalty for person who files is like $15,000. They're asking for $1,000. Oh, yeah, that's a joke. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah. Max is 15,000. Jesus. Well, okay. Where did they get that number? The 15 million. Like future harm? I don't know. Just a haggling negotiation strategy?
At this point, but I'm super sorry. There's literally no excuse. Plaintiff then asks him to delete any and all videos that he has of her. The leak of the video goes viral and is being discussed by thousands of followers of Destiny and Pixie on various platforms, including YouTube, Discord, Reddit, and Twitter. What's interesting me is that it's referring to videos in the plural, but I think there's only been one that she's been identified in, which suggests that maybe they've been sent around elsewhere. I wonder if they've been sent around elsewhere, like if other people have come forward with these things. Sort of like in the Pixie case. Pardon me, sort of like in the Cherry case, where after our videos went up and Pixie publicly declared that she was going to sue Destiny, Cherry received a recording that Destiny had taken without her knowledge. I wonder if something like that's gone on. The leak of the video, 17, the leak of the video goes viral. Oh, that dog's excited upstairs. The leak of the video goes viral and is being discussed by thousands of followers of Destiny and Pixie on various platforms, including YouTube, Discord, Reddit, and Twitter. Plaintiff begins receiving hundreds of insulting and harassing messages. Many of the followers discussing the leaks on the different accounts falsely claim that plaintiff exchanged sex for professional growth and favors from Bunnell. Plaintiff feels increasingly humiliated, mortified, and depressed, starts feeling suicidal. On or about December 11, 2024, she starts writing suicide notes. Plaintiff messages Bunnell and tells him she is, quote, just tired of living anymore. It's a matter of time until my family discovers what happened. I feel like the best thing to do is for me to kill myself and schedule a post just detailing my feelings on what happened to try to ensure a situation like this doesn't happen again, unquote. Plaintiff then unfriends Bunnell on Discord so that she cannot receive any messages from him. On or about December 13th, 2024. Is that audible to you guys? Can you guys hear the dog in the background, or is that... Yeah.
I don't plan on going through this whole thing. I just wanted to get some of the highlights here. Just get some of the spicy facts into the conversation. So I don't know. We'll give this like a couple more minutes.
You can hear it? Okay, we'll wait a second. Come on, guys.
Actually, we'll speed it up.
What on earth is he doing up there? Okay. Sounds like he's been taken inside. Fine. Okay. 19. On or about December 13, 2024, plaintiff meets with Bunnell's close friend and business associate, Kyla Turner, which they didn't censor properly. You got it? Okay. Plaintiff tells her about her suicidal thoughts, that she cannot bear the humiliation and harassment she's enduring, and that she wants to ensure Bunnell never does this to her or anyone else again. Turner tells her, undisclosed Turner tells her she will talk to Bunnell and tell him what they discussed. 20. On or about December 19th, 2024, Turner asks plaintiff if Bunnell has communicated with or added her back as a friend. Plaintiff responds in the negative. 21. The plaintiff continues feeling depressed and suicidal. Leak of the video is still a viral topic of conversation on multiple platforms, with people making horrible accusations about plaintiff. On the morning of January 20th, 2025, 2 videos on YouTube are posted by 2 different streamers discussing the quote-unquote Pixie leak. That's not how it's referred to, but okay. The videos include screenshots of private messages of plaintiff discussing the situation with friends and claims that plaintiff took hush money, only cares about money, and does not care about other victims of defendant. That's untrue.
Why
These videos have been viewed by thousands, including one which, as of today, was viewed by over 90,000 people. Or 100,000 people, actually. The majority of the posts by people assume that Bunnell shared the videos with Bunnell's consent and knowledge. I don't know where that information is coming from. This is very suspect. 22. On or about January 20th, 2025, in desperation, plaintiff / Pixie goes online and announces that Destiny shared the videos without her consent or knowledge, and that she will be seeking legal recourse. That same day, Benel / Destiny responds on various platforms, including Reddit and Imgur, and falsely claims that the video leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. Well, hang on.
Fuck, I hate when it does this, man. I gotta figure out why. It's driving me nuts.
Invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private facts. 60. Plaintiff adopts and realleges the allegations set forth in paragraphs 1 through 59 above as though fully set forth herein. 61. Defendant publicly disclosed private facts concerning plaintiff that were not of legitimate public concern, including the sexually explicit videos without her consent. Defendant continues to do so to this day. 62. There is no public concern that justifies disclosing sexually explicit images or videos of the plaintiff without her consent. 63. At all times, the defendant acted intentionally and with reckless disregard for plaintiff's well-being. 64. Defendant could have or should have expected public disclosure to arise from his dissemination of the videos to various individuals. 65. The public disclosure of the videos would be highly offensive to any reasonable person, including the plaintiff. 66. Public disclosure of the videos took place such that tens of thousands of people have viewed the videos or are aware of the content of the videos and of plaintiff's role in the videos. 67. Plaintiff had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the videos since they were taken with the intention for private use and not for public dissemination. 68. Such disclosures have caused plaintiff extreme humiliation, distress, and emotional suffering. Plaintiff seeks compensatory and actual damages, punitive damages, attorney's fees, and costs. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests judgment against defendant as follows. 1. For appropriate compensatory and/or statutory damages in an amount to be determined at trial. 2. For appropriate equitable and injunctive relief against defendant as allowed by law. 3. For an award of punitive damages. 4. For an award of reasonable attorney's fees. And 5. For such other and further relief to which the plaintiff may be entitled. Demand for jury trial. The plaintiff demands trial by jury of all issues trialable as of right by a jury, dated 18th February 2025. Respectfully submitted Sanchez Medina, Gonzalez, Quesada, attorney for plaintiff. Carlos A. Garcia Perez. Okay. Okay. Now, about that non-disclosed Turner person. Not so erudite drew a line in the sand when talking to Turkey Tom. Let's see if we can find that, okay?
So the same.
So.
Yeah, what's up, Malibu? I'm just going to say, even if they sue on behalf of the other parties in question and willing to take up civil suit or file a lawsuit against Destiny, they're still nearly 250 times above the maximum lawsuit in payout for the statute, and there's no way they're making up nearly $14 million in lawyer fees and paid and suffering for damage to their career public image. Yeah, they stated a lot of that at the beginning of at the beginning of the document. A lot of that was included, like, you know, unless, you know, part of the introduction was, you know, unless you take care of all this stuff, we're going to be forced to go to trial, and some of those things were obviously like legal fees and all that other stuff. It's fucking impossible. They're making a mockery of the court system, and subsequently the victims who actually try to file suit for having horrible shit like this happen to them, and as a result, they should be thrown in jail for gross misconduct. Yeah. You perceive there being any chance that Trump AG takes action against Destiny? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think he's done going over it.
Well,
It's in his head. He can just pay his way out of these situations.
I think this is what we want.
Without their knowledge and sent it out, like, I don't think I mean, before I sent them.
Okay, let's go back a minute. Let's go back 2 minutes, okay? We'll just listen to this.
Obviously, it's her decision whether or not it goes public, but, you know, the problem with it maybe not going public at some point is he doesn't face actual repercussions for his actions, which is like public scrutiny, right? Because if he gets it in his head, he can just pay his way out of these situations. And to be clear, he has enough money to do that. You know, he can pay for her law school and still be okay. It's like, what incentive is there for him to not do it again in the future if he thinks he might be able to get away with it, you know?
Yeah, this is why when I talked to Pixie, I told her, like, if you want to sue him, I like support you in doing that. I've never said anything different with her. I think that's like fully within her right. I just know for her, I guess to be specific, she explicitly told me.
Tom is good. Tom is disgusting. Tom is the one who, when Melina came out and said these videos were not leaked consensually, said, I don't trust her. I don't trust Melina, when he knew about the Pixie thing as well. Tom is a psycho, and he's stupid.
Me that if this stuff became more public, that was the thing that made her want to kill herself. She was terrified of like family finding out. She was terrified of like friends and stuff finding out and like seeing this content. And she was like,
So we're assuming that wasn't an error, that was a deliberate action.
That was the thing like driving her suicidality, was the publicity of it, which is why she didn't want to go to like civil court, right? So then I'm like, what's if the publicity part is attached to the suit, which she said she talked to lawyers, I just believed her. It sounds like that's also correct. Then it's like, what's the next best thing for her? Because I think that she deserves something. But
So
she
what
gets
was your
she
kind
gets
of
to drive that.
What was your kind of goal throughout all of this? Because obviously it puts you in a very awkward position where on one hand you're trying to help out your friend, but at the same time, I mean, you're I don't know if you're employed by Destiny, but you work with him. Obviously,
We
he's
co-own
helping
a
you out a
business
lot.
together.
Yeah, right. So like what kind of position are you in at that point? Like, how are you feeling? Are you thinking like, can I continue working with this guy if he's doing this kind of stuff?
This is what I want.
You're thinking of cutting him off? Like, what?
Hey, listen.
Yeah, right. So like what kind of position are you in at that point? Like, how are you feeling? Are you thinking like, can I continue working with this guy if he's doing this kind of stuff? Are you thinking of cutting him off? Like, what kind of position is that putting you in?
I mean, before I sent the message to Aaron, I was talking to my husband, like to Nick, and I was like, if he recorded somebody without their knowledge and sent it out, like I don't think I can, like, I don't know what to do. I don't think I can work with. That's a line I can't. I don't fuck with that shit. Like, that's insane.
All right. In other news, Knott's Erudite has announced that she fucks with that shit. So, it's just insane. It's just actually insane. So, I can't even. This is on Reddit. Knott's Erudite says, Steven and I have plans to have him on the show again as a guest or contributor. Bridge Just the one apparently now. Bridge is not burnt, rather, and we do not hate each other whatsoever. It was a mutual decision, and I'd be lying to say I'm not terrified. Well, this is some silver lining to the story. Thanks for the well wishes. We will see, said the Zen master. This is Sick. You remember Sick, right?
Sick. Oh, that guy was a drunk.
Sick is a man who got run off the internet after sexually harassing someone on YouTube. And whatever. Moving aside. Not that my word means shit, but I want to apologize for going so hard on you on X. While I definitely disagree with some of your actions, I've actively stopped roping you into the drama shit because I can see you care. No offense, but given the multi-threaded relationships going on, it looks very manipulative from the outside, and I hope you understand that that's where that energy is coming from. Erudite responds, I do understand. I wish people would have asked, particularly because I keep taking massive hits for trying to do what is right, and I've been fully focused on that. The right thing, of course, is to continue financially entangling yourself with the sex abuser while pretending to be the friend of his victim. And
she like completely upended her life to move to Miami and fucking be completely wrapped up in the fucking DGG universe, starting a podcast with him, doing the whatever. She's just been like all wrapped up in Destiny for fucking 2 years now, maybe. And I think she's probably just invested so much into this, and she probably saw some kind of opportunity for herself at the end of it. And she hasn't reached it yet. So this is Erudite we're talking about. I don't know if you guys know Erudite, but she's poured so much into Mr. Bonnell here, and had probably saw. I think she wanted to start like an addiction therapy center or something like that. I don't know. She's just like heavy into psychology or something, or therapy. But she probably saw him to be the means, the vehicle for her to attain these kind of things. And now that she's so close to that kind of stuff, I don't think she's gonna like just fucking, throw him to the side of the road because her dreams are all wrapped up in him. So yeah.
Negotiating that relationship for him. There's a fair bit I'm willing to cover with people privately that I can't publicly due to some legal stuff. If the equity transfer of Bridges gets done today, I'll be freed up a lot more to speak publicly. Meaning you pulling out of any stake over it? No, he's giving it all to me. Oh, damn. Even with his insane tantruming, he's seeming to now want to fuck over my last 3 years. But I think with how upset he seems, I just want to manage the legal stuff first. Yeah, the comments have to stop. He's already done faux admissions left and right. Dan and you both are very bad PR for yourselves and Destiny. Dan was making a comment last month and had to stop himself from admitting he told Pixie I wouldn't pursue legal action. To be honest, I didn't speak to Dan at all about Pixie, and Pixie never told me he had reached out. I actually distanced myself a lot from both, didn't communicate at all about this. That's not surprising. I'm noting his comment just to show that people can feel the ickiness with the defensive behaviors and held back sentiments. I told her she should pursue legal action if she would like, and I supported her in any direction she wanted to go. Yeah. For the record, I understand this. Oh, sorry, hang on. Yes, I'm really disappointed and mind-fucked. Like, was I just fooled initially, or was he remorseful at first and became belligerent? Hang on. This is from the 18th. This is from the previous month. So you were fooled. You recognize that he's remorseless. And now you're going back to work for him.
See? Yeah.
This freak has no soul. These people are evil. These people are genuinely evil. These people are foul. Sick replies, for the record, I understand this. The reason that looks so bad, though, is by you accepting Pixie's silence, it just plays into Destiny's hand. With you being so dependent on him financially, Or at least that was the perception. It looks like you feigning consideration while letting her play into Dee's hand with the least resistance possible. I can't see the end of that, so I guess we just continue here. It just cuts off. It's fine. I don't really care to read any more sick. Erudite says, you don't tell victims what to do with their trauma. This is trauma-informed mental health 101. What you do is you negotiate you negotiate settlement with your employer for them, and you ask for clarifying questions that make it spinnable in a very negative light should this ever go to court. That's what you do. That's the ethical thing, Kyler, right? When someone's consent has been ripped from them, your role is to give them maximal choice. Maximal choice. Was she giving her maximal choice? I don't think she was giving her maximal choice. I think she was kind of doing the opposite, actually. Where do I have that?
What's up, Bella? How you doing, man?
I think what I want. There we go. Okay. Oh. Oh. Actually, I bet I can just find them online. Hang on.
Am I newbie on Kick? I've been streaming for a few years now, but I just recently started doing Restream where I'm on Kick and YouTube at the same time as Twitch, so it's not my first rodeo. But I don't know, I guess maybe I've been on Kick for 6 months, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. But most of the people, there's only a few people in there right now, but most of the people that watch me, they usually come from Twitch.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Fine, I got it here. I had to scroll through and find all my files. I haven't touched this in a little bit. So, here we are. Okay. Boom. That'll do. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Sweet.
Should. Which games do I play the most?
Okay. So,
I'm usually either playing Fallout, Call of Duty, or Halo. That's usually my 3 go-tos. Once in a while I'll play Starfield. I've been playing a lot of Link to the Past lately. That's the Super Nintendo Zelda that came out many, many years ago. And I just run it through a randomizer. And then, just playing on stream. Right now I'm working, so I'm just, right here I'm doing my work, and then I got my stream over here, so it's kind of just like a chill stream. I'm just hanging out, catching up on some of this Destiny drama that's going on. Play GTA? I haven't played GTA since Vice City. That's how long. That's the last time I played GTA. Was literally Vice City. So it's been a long time.
There we are. This is the part that I think made me have more contempt for Not So Erudite than I've ever had in my life, which, let me tell you, is an achievement. It's this one here. Hyla does something very devious, very slippery, very nasty. Gotcha. Thanks for not sugarcoating anything about where you're at. I think what we talked about is what you needed. Help removing the video from online, getting the guy who hacked charged. Getting the guy who hacked charged. Not Steven. Getting the guy who hacked charged.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember seeing the trailer for it. I don't know. Maybe they came out with a new trailer recently, but whenever they did the first trailer drop, I was like, yeah. Plus, I'm from Miami, so, you know, just seeing how they actually modeled the game after the city was really, really impressive. So I was actually thinking about getting it. I know it's not going to come out for PC, I think, initially. So I was thinking it was probably an excuse just to get a new console. Because the console I have right now, I literally have an Xbox One Halo 5 edition that I got 10 years ago. So, but I mean, I usually do most of my gaming on PC, but I have a console. But I mean, I was going to use it as an excuse to buy a new one for GTA. So we'll see. You're from Houston, Texas? Yeah, well, I live in Texas now. I live in San Antonio. I was born in Houston, actually. I was born in Houston many years ago. And then I moved to Miami, you know, before I was a year old. And then I grew up there and I moved around a little bit, but now I'm in San Antonio.
A sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he was and a plan to prevent this from ever happening again. Is that what you need? Gets her to confirm she needs something else. And then gets clarification, even though it's obvious. She wants monetary damages. And frankly, she's entitled to them. I hope she gets as much as she asks for. However, this is what Kyla does. Okay. So what is it? So that is what you want to pursue. It wasn't clear to me before that this is what you wanted specifically. My understanding, it was more a sense of rehabilitation and justice. But you have a specific thing you want now, which is for him to lose a certain amount of money. Her saying that is a landmine. That's the intent behind it. I don't know if it matters. But this is not someone who is doing the right thing. This is someone who, like Nick DeOrio, like Willie Mack, like Turkey Tom, this is someone who is putting up barriers so that they can protect what they're benefiting from, namely Steven's reputation. Steven's reputation is everything. Kyla doesn't have a job without Steven having a good reputation. That's why she's bringing him back onto bridges. She quietly, publicly unfollowed him on...
If you don't mind, can I say something to you, man? Yeah, go ahead.
Twitter, so people would think that she was making some kind of moral stance. She told Turkey Tom, look, if he's remorseless, like, if this happened, I can't stick with this. I don't fuck with that. I've got moral limits. But she also doesn't have a way to generate an income online without connecting to Destiny. So, here we are. Here we are. Steven and I have full plans to have him on the show again as a guest or contributor. Full plans. They're not speculating. If he shows remorse in the future, maybe someday I can see to collaborating with him again. No. Right now, in advance of anything taking place, while he is actively mocking the victims to his audience and slandering them, etc., etc., she's ready to go full steam ahead. Full plans. The plans are done. We've agreed. So Kyla, who has apparently done everything she can to protect Destiny and potentially entrap Pixie, insists that your role is to give victims maximal choice. Okay. I agree her going public first would have been better for me. I don't know if that's true, Kyla. I don't know if that's true at all. But from her perspective, going public was the step before killing. I don't think that's true, Kyla. I think we both know from this that her going public is really bad for you. This forced you to do things that you just proved here you really didn't want to do. And we know this because even despite the obvious reputational damage this will entail, you're doing it anyways. Because here's the unfortunate fact of the matter. Without Destiny, Kyla, you are nothing. You are...
I agree with President Sunday. Yeah, she should have stood on her own over the past few years so that she could use this kind of moment to kind of step into his role. You know, this kind of stuff happened with who has this happened to? Well, it just depends. Like, so for example, you know, after October 7th, Lonerbox blew up. He waited his time. I mean, he's still kind of tied to the hip of fucking Destiny, although he recently, you know, parted ways with him, I guess. But whatever, you know, like Vosh probably lost a bunch of shit after his fucking, you know, lolly arc, and those people went to somewhere else. She could have, her and Pisco and fucking all these other people could have like just stepped into his role and absorbed some of their audience had they stayed separate from him. But now, because they're so tied to the hip, it's like you're in the mud with him because of this shit, you know. Federal oath, you mean oath of office? You know, you can violate federal law and defend the Constitution at the same time, right? What's up, XN? How you doing? Actually, I'm an illustrator. I do work for streamers and make the stream assets. So basically, I'm looking for some commission work. Let me know if you have any plans to add some customized stuff for your channel. See my work, I can confidently say you'll like it, and after seeing the work, you'll definitely want to get something done from me. Shall I send you my work on Discord? Yeah, you can send me whatever. You can either, you know, send me a DM on Twitter or Discord or whatever. You know, find a way to send me something, and yeah, I am in the middle of like mapping out a rebrand. It's not going to be an intense. It's not going to be an intense switch. I want to keep the same aesthetic. I just want to change it a little bit because right now it's kind of modeled after some possibly, you know, stuff out there that could be trademarked or copyrighted. So I just want to make sure I'm in a place where I'm not getting my stream, you know, put to the side or shut off because of that kind of stuff. So we'll see. I don't know. It's something. I only stream a few times a week, so it's not, you know, hasn't been a huge priority for me. But I'll definitely keep you in mind if something comes up for sure. Do I pin my Discord? Let me see. I do, but the thing is, I shut down my the Discord's still up, but I shut it down. Like I privated all the channels and everything because somebody came in there and really did a number on it. So I just deleted all of the stuff that person did, and then I just kind of privated everything and then said I'll come back to it later. But I might have a link for it. Let me see. Or you could just look it up. You know, if you just search Legatlantius. If you search Legatlantius, you'll see me. What am I looking? God, I'm so all over. I'm so all over the place. Some claim that's what Snowden did, for example. Where is it? Okay, I'm opening up Discord now. Here, I'll drop it in the kick chat. Oh, well, that didn't work. That didn't work either. What's going on? Do you accept requests on Discord? Yeah. Expired. I don't know why it keeps going back to this. I don't want it to expire. Every time I put never, it just goes back to 7. Is this gonna work? Nope, that didn't work. Have you got it, man? Let me see. Is it Aria? Is that you? Is it ARIA? Is that you? No, Bella Justin. Let me just see if I can search. No, I don't see you here. I don't know what's up with my server. Like, I'm trying to get the link for it, but it's just not. Invite people. Copy. And... oh, what the fuck. I'm a mess right now. What's going on? I don't even know what's going on here. Like, I'm trying to copy the link and it won't even let me copy the link. Delegate. Invite people. Or send a server invite link to a friend. Copy. Copy. It just copies hidden use copy button. I don't know, man. It's my cord. I mean, Bella Justin. Is that you? Bella J? Oh, are you in the politics Discord? No? I Well, I searched Bella. And there's a J there, but then it says ... Is your... no, I haven't. Is your profile picture one like a female Dragon Ball Z character? Woman J doing me Jesus Princess. Is that you? You know what, let me see if this works, because I'm just going to get you the... I'm going to get you the link from Nightbot. Is that you? Are you saying your profile picture is a female character from Dragon Ball Z? Oh, okay. Let me see. It says you're not accepting friend requests. They'll have to add you to become friends. Okay, well, I just sent you a message. I don't know. Doesn't let me know if it works. Still work? Oh, there it goes. Oh, wait. Your content is very... Can I help you, sir? Yeah, what's up, Salty? Well, whatever. I'm just gonna leave. That hopefully that link works. Just join it and then just, you know, DM me at some point. What's up, Salty? How you doing? All right, I'm gonna get back to it, but it's good to meet you, Bella.
You are nothing. Carla continues, when I first found out about the leaks, I was very troubled about what to do, because the mental health informed thing misaligned with the PR thing, and I decided I would do what I would do if PR wasn't concerned and worry about PR after. Well, that's clearly not true. This was true for how I approached Steven and Pixie, which is very much not true.
They may have found a cure for PPG? What's that?
It says, I won't say too much about my communications with her because I'm sure you've heard stuff from her anyways, but she did say she was concerned about people essentially treating her like a gossed up whore climbing the ladder. Why are you telling Not So Erudite this sick? What is wrong with you? These people are fucking perverts. They just love to talk.
Oh, you gotta break up the link, XN. You gotta break it up a little bit.
They just love to talk. I can't stand people like this. These people swarm around these communities like flies. They're freaks who just desperately want to get in the know and chat with people. This, by the way, is what Straight Ray did. This is why I'm so mad at her.
You got to break it up a little more. So the end part of it got blocked out.
Because she was sending stuff that was compromising to all parties involved just because she liked to be there. She liked to be involved. It's fucking gross. Very. I told her these people didn't matter. Anyone who sees a victim as someone just trying to grab for more doesn't matter. Their opinion is invalid. Sunday forced her public. She didn't choose to go public. The best thing he did for her was insist like a psycho that she was an extortionist because it was so insane that...
Oh, this is good. Use CRISPR to remove extra chromosomes in Down syndrome. There you go. Yeah, they cured. This is the cure for PPG right here. Okay, I see it. There you go. All right, we're good. Gene editing techniques may eventually allow trisomy to be treated at the cellular level, according to vitro proof of concept study. Down syndrome is caused by the presence of a third copy of the 21st chromosome. Condition occurs in approximately 1 in 700 live births and is relatively easy to diagnose at early stages of development. However, there are no treatments. Nice. Yeah. Let's get them signed up. Let's get that motherfucker signed up. Get them signed up for CRISPR and some therapy. Maybe a little bit of AA too.
And she had immediate public support. I do not think the public support was because of that. I think the public support was because everybody knew what Destiny had done. This, once again, really important to highlight because Erudite is directly implicated. Directly implicated in both directions. In both directions. Because here's the thing. She involved herself in whatever Steven would accuse Pixie of, and she covered for Destiny. Six says, I really hope Aaron and Pixie can make up someday. I don't think so. But I hope you realize Aaron felt very violated in that too. She knows she fucked up trusting Sunday. What Sunday did was unethical arbitrage. I don't know what that means. This is a mistake. Straighterade didn't trust me. People say that Straighterade was dumb for trusting me. She didn't trust me. I'll tell you how I know she didn't trust me. Because I came to her after talking to Nick DeOrio and ChudLogic. Because ChudLogic told me that someone told him that the settlement options on pain of going public came from Straighterade. They were her idea. And I went to her and I asked, I told her, like, look, hey, this is all floating around everywhere. I thought we were keeping hush-hush on this. What's going on? By the way, ChudLogic says that the law school tuition thing, that information came from you. You thought of that. And her response was, who told you? Don't worry about it. Did you think of that? Was that you? No, who told you that? Her instinct, once again, was to obscure. Why? Because she did something very embarrassing. She had very private information, and she shared it around with people left, right, and center, and implicated herself by involving herself with Pixie and Steven at the same time, and inserting ideas for compensation to ward off whatever Pixie might do. And she was a snake. And do I think she wanted to harm anyone involved? No. No. I think she just wanted to be there. Like Sick, she's just really excited to be acknowledged by these people. That's it. It's perverted. I think these people just get off on getting attention like this from people on the screen. And I think she was rightfully embarrassed that she had done this. But she didn't trust me. She kept this information hidden from me. I was going into that call with Nick DeOrio, because Nick reached out to me. I was going into that...
Aren't you too level-headed to be preoccupied with obscure personal drama? Not really. Not really. I mean, the thing about like internet drama, especially when it's involved like with all these fucking, Twitch poll type people, is that I absorb it immediately just to get the laughs and get the memes, and then I just brain dump it all. So it's kind of like a quick fix. I don't carry it around with me, but I do enjoy kind of being up to date for this kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to watch this whole thing. He already went through the lawsuit or the initial documentation sent to Mr. Bonnell, and now he's just going through some of the drama that's happened.
A good, godly man. Don't get me wrong. Whatever they find me, I can just pay. As a stepping stone to connect with people and just. What just happened? Just go back to the. Just curious what Wick has to say here.
Like, I'm only watching this for a few more minutes, then I'm gonna put on something else. It's not gonna be a long stream because, well, I still got time. I got a couple hours. But USA versus Canada's tonight, so I'll be going out, get some wings, get some beers, watch the game, and then I might come back later and stream. But right now I'm just working, kind of just chilling right now. They aren't poll people, though. They're all drama queens, every last one of them. They are, I mean, a lot of them are poll people. Like, President Sunday here, he does a lot of politics. Or maybe he does a lot of political theory. The rest of the people that do commentary on it aren't. They used to be probably poll people. Chud Logic started out as poll. I don't know, a lot of those people did. Hockey or lane battle? Hockey. So the NHL, instead of doing an all-star game this year, they did something called the Four Nations Face-Off. And it's USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. And in the first game that USA played Canada, that's the one where all of the Canadian fans were booing during the American national anthem. And then the US came out and just completely fucking wrecked them in one of the best displays of entertainment and athleticism to have ever been presented to the public. And now tonight's the rematch, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's tonight. Just send you a work on Discord, have a look at it. Okay, I'm not gonna do it right now, Bello, but I when I'm when I'm more in the mindset to jump around from Discord, I'm like right now I'm working and I'm just kind of like tangentially streaming, so. But yeah, I mean I'll take a look at it at some point. So.
But yeah, you're not on the ban list. I'm looking at it right now. Your channel. Did you not accept the rules? Yeah. Accept the rules.
On the inside.
You weren't very nice to Rob.
Oh shit! Hey, he's talking to Andrew Wilson.
But if that's your complaint, I wasn't nice.
You were kind of a jerk.
He's talking to Andrew Wilson.
Remember how that guy, under total false pretenses, completely lied his ass off? And he showed you proof and then said he didn't want to be there under false pretenses. And like a slimy liberal scumbag, he did everything that you could to run him off. That wasn't very nice. Why'd you do that?
So no one showed me proof until after he had left, when Soy Pill streamed the tweet. I didn't know what was being referenced. I had no point to talk.
I was watching it. He admitted it.
He admitted that
Literally
he lied,
admitted
but I don't know what he lied about, and that matters. So, for example, if he could have said, Rob, your beard is nice, but then he was like, haha, I didn't actually think your beard is nice. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's not what happened. What happened was Rob told you that this guy tried to call him in under false pretenses. Totally reasonable for him to say he's not going to be on a panel with a person who, under false pretenses, tried to kind of rage for debate. He came on, he told you, and the other guy admitted it, and you just showed that you're a scumbag, biased liberal.
Rob
siding with your dumb liberal friends
so
instead
to be clear,
of instead of actively moving towards the truth. Wick.
That's not actually what happened, and let me give you the order of events. And I understand you don't know, you weren't privy to.
I was
DMs,
watching it, Wick.
I understand, but again,
Rob
accepted this debate. Rob accepted this debate before he knew anyone who would be on the panel. In fact, he asked me after accepting, hey, just so I know, right, who else is going to be on this panel? Not that it matters. And he says this, and I won't show you the DM. I don't leak DMs, right? But he says this. He says, not that it matters. I just want to know who I'm dealing with. And so I told him, Staxian.
General Alden is going to be on the panel, Rob. You're going to meet your hero.
And Soy Pill were going to be on the panel, as well as Audacity. And he had no problem with that. He didn't really talk to... I think the only thing he said is, like, oh, I wanted to talk to Soy Pill about something else, but I guess we just talked about it on the panel. I had no idea. I hadn't followed their conversation. I had no idea they were interacting. So he came on my show. He came on my...
Bro, who fucking gets online and says, I want people to call me Soy Pill, bro? This is Soy Pill.
My panel. To act as if he only accepted because Soy Pill would be in good faith is simply not what happened.
No. Why are you not getting this? The guy wanted to debate with Rob under false pretenses. Rob says this isn't worth my time. This guy's a lying scumbag. He's a lying scumbag. Boot him. Because that's not what I'm here to do, is to debate with people.
I want to see if there's anything about this. I don't know. I don't even know what they're getting into, but there was a Rob Noor video that I wanted to see. Maybe 133 IQ Super Genius. Connor versus Rob. Okay, no. That's not it. Rob smacks around another fake news spreading liberal. Maybe this is Soy Pill. Unspeakable things done to our children. Liberals go crazy over the war's end. Resistance is futile. Puny libs. These progressives regret unleashing robot. Maybe this is it. Let's see.
Pride has been used to indoctrinate people, including children, into excesses so grotesque that it should be fully rejected. Intech Q-Tip says, Utah state law is now prohibiting pride flags in school, but allows Nazi and Confederate flags in school. No! Oh my God! Fuck you! We don't care what you think. Fuck you! People that wanted to indoctrinate your kid to castrate themselves and think that they were evil because they were white or because they were heterosexual are now upset.
Okay, that's not it. That's not it.
People who come in bad faith under false pretenses. Totally reasonable, Wick.
Because
totally
again,
reasonable.
I'm never going to boot someone simply because they said they would.
If it was me moderating, Wick, and because I'm actually
if you were moderating, I wouldn't watch it. It would be boring.
Kicked him.
I wouldn't watch your show.
I know, that's why I have, on average 7,000 live viewers, and you have on average about 41.
Actually closer to 30, but it's nice of him.
Being a liar and being a misrepresentative of truth is always going to be more profitable than someone who holds their standards and actually has.
And I guess by that standard, Destiny is an evil, liar, nefarious, evil doer, right?
Yeah.
Because it's more profitable.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
all of you Twitch TV failures, the only reason that you fail is because you're all truth sayers.
No,
is that right?
there's a lot of people who are just boring.
Like you. I mean,
if you don't like it, I mean, you were watching my show, to be clear.
Perfect offer. I was watching Rob.
I wasn't watching your show. You're the one who turned into me.
Rob.
You watched my show.
Just to be clear, by the way, well, Wick did ask Destiny a super chat that involved the leaks. Absent that super chat, Wick was not going to say anything to Destiny about this. He had Destiny on the call. He was perfectly willing to benefit from the attention and from Destiny's involvement. Again, all of these people.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
I've seen him do this with Wick. I've seen him do this with Tom Foolery. These one-on-ones. He's definitely really good at it. Some Norwegian guy. He seems familiar. What's up, T-Bird? This is President Sunday. He's Canadian. He's not Norwegian, but he looks really fucking Norwegian.
Willing to stay cozy forever. Forever. They needed other people to push them to do things. Tiny things. That was not a pun.
You watched my show, and I don't watch yours. So who's boring?
I was
Andrew?
watching Rob's show, not yours. Scumbag.
This is my show. Rob happened to be on it.
And Rob was streaming it, right?
Sure, but it's still my show.
So therefore, I was watching Rob's show, the entertaining guy, not Wick's show. See how that works?
None of that
By
reluctant
that
turning.
logic, any of the debates that you watch that I have with Destiny, you would be watching my show, right?
I understand, but none of that.
Or on your if you were the host, yes, that's true.
Oh,
but you know what?
watch my
I haven't
show,
watched
Wick.
those.
Oh my God, did you watch my show, Wick? Wow, I'm glad
I'm
that
gonna be honest with you. I think Wick looks better with one tooth. This is psyching me out. He needs the one tooth. It's iconic now.
The only time I watched your
You have
show
to go
was when
back.
I
We were
was
wrong.
Man, I am so happy you're such a super fan that you watch shows that I host, panels that I host,
I
because you've
watched
done
one.
it then, Wick. No, you've watched others.
How
What do you
many?
mean?
Which ones? Name them.
Yeah, so you've watched some of the Dylan Burns ones?
No,
You've
I
been
haven't.
On those? Yes, you have, and you've watched
Hold
some
on.
of the Destiny.
No, I haven't. You don't understand. Unless I'm on
Are
the
you
show
familiar
or
with
if they are
my debates
talking about me, I don't watch
Are
anyone.
you familiar with my debates with Destiny?
I haven't
'Cause you
watched
referenced
those,
them.
no.
You've never watched a single debate I've
No.
had with Destiny? Or Not So Erudite?
No.
No, even though you reference them.
I may
Is
have
that
seen
right? So
clips
if I
on
go
the
back-
internet.
So if I, go
I saw
back
clips on
If I go
Twitter.
back into your channel, you're not going to reference any of these debates, right?
If
You're
I
not lying
if
to
I
me,
saw
are
a
you, Wick?
clip on Twitter, I watched the clip on Twitter, but that doesn't count as watching.
Oh, so you watch my show? By your logic, you watch
Watching
my show.
a clip on Twitter doesn't count as watching someone's show.
Of course it does. As long
Why?
as I'm platforming them, Wick, that the ipso facto, by your logic, you're watching my show. Right? Isn't that stupid? Doesn't that actually sound stupid now that you say it out loud, Wick?
When you frame it as you have, dishonestly,
I'm not
yes.
trying to- Yeah,
If you
mean,
dishonestly
honestly,
frame it, you do.
you mean the
But
only
here's
guy
the
who
problem,
was honest
Andrew.
here?
Here's the problem I have with you.
what's the
Since you're here, and it's great that you're here, right? It's great that you're here because I have a few problems with how you operate and how I've seen you operate.
Why do you have
Let's
any
be
problems, Wick? You've never even heard of my show. You've never watched it once. How do you even know what my
Because
positions
people
are?
who are my friends, and you've been on my show several times, okay? I know how you operate because I've talked to you.
I've been on your show several times, Wick?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. So everything that you're about to say to me is a reference to the times I've been on your show, and
Yes.
that's it, because you don't.
Or
ever
that
watch
I
them,
have
right?
been on yours. Or that I have been on yours. One of the two.
So okay, so you better not reference anything outside of that, Wick, or else you're going to prove that you watch my show.
So when I was debating you on your show, right? When we talked about, if you remember, violence and if it's ever acceptable, etc. One of the tricks that you do, and this is something that I've seen you do in other times in clips, right? And when you have been on my show for other things,
so you
is
watch
what
my
you will
show,
do
Wick.
is you will
Watch
you
my
will
show.
demand someone state their position to a very kind of extreme level of detail. You will find a spot where they are unclear or where they make it they may have made a mistake,
where they
and
lie?
you will
Where
you
they
will
lie?
really hone in on that. You will refuse to take a position, you will refuse to actually have a stance of your own, and you will simply try to attack that one point. It's a trick. It's a debate tactic. It's really what you got.
Oh, it's correct. So you're saying that you need to have, you're saying that every single time you debate a position, you need to have an affirmative position with?
You have to
That's how
be
debating
able
works?
to, if you
By
want
the way, Andrew, next time we debate, I'm going to remember you said that.
to have an honest discussion, you have to have a stance.
Oh, I see. I got it.
Or you at least have to be willing to take a stance.
So you can't have neutral stances in debates. Is that right? Is that right, Wayne?
That a neutral stance is still a chance. Much like Rush says, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice, right? A neutral
I see.
stance is still a
you
stance.
So you can't have a neutral stance. So I can do an internal critique, even if
Again,
I don't
as I
have a
just
particular
said,
stance
you
on that
can
issue.
have a neutral stance. So you saying that,
I
so you
see.
can't have a neutral stance is simply not addressing my point whatsoever.
Then I wouldn't need to take a position, right? An affirmative position. I wouldn't need to do that. What I would.
You can say, hey, I don't actually have a position here, but I want to talk about yours. But what you do,
Yeah, exactly. So,
right? But
so
what
I
you
don't have to
do
say that I have
is
an
you
affirmative
bring them
position.
on,
Shut
right?
up.
Or you
All right, enough of that. All right. The drama people, who I despise, all of you, lesser beings compared to actual Present Sunday viewers. We're now watching Bad Political Theory, okay?
Okay, that's that.
We did a lot of
what was it? This.
So I thought I was done making videos. You're familiar with...
Fascism is necessary. There's a bunch of stuff. I had to watch later.
The issue I...
Great segue. This probably... Bro.
First, you've got Donald Trump and
what else is there? Canceling Robin Hood. This guy, let me see this fucking fascism thing.
there's a tendency for progressives to lay the blame for fascism at the feet of a couple of politicians or a political party. In the US, you've got Donald Trump, and in the UK, you've got Nigel Farage. The story goes that what's left that's good in our society will be stripped away by a few evil politicians, individuals, particular companies and their owners that we can just vote away, either at the ballot box or with our dollars. And sure, that can be immediately effective. It's also very shallow. Focusing everything around individual actors, Trump, Elon, their upbringing, their life story, ignores how the political movement that they figurehead is the real consequence of our current system. One of our current economic system's most effective weapons is what's called responsibilization. Responsibilization simply means society ascribes freedom and autonomy to individuals and agents as the thing that moves society. People have their ideas, they make individual rational choices based on those ideas. This is the tool by which center-left political parties, figures, elites, and academics have used to explain away what they see as the rise of a fascist movement. The book White Rural Rage, The Threat to American Democracy, a book arguably representative of a lot of the views and perceptions held by Democrats, refreshingly holds rural white voters to account for their choices and for willfully gobbling down right-wing propaganda. It calls on rural Americans to take responsibility for themselves. This is deriving an understanding of fascism purely based on a set of ideas that have spawned into the heads of individuals who just need to be more personally responsible. This gives people like the Democrats an easy answer. You, as an individual, need to simply be more responsible. This emphasis on the individual and their ideas in their heads, however, is why a lot of progressives tend to incorrectly label Trumpism and MAGA and what threat they pose, and ultimately why they're largely ineffective at countering anti-democratic movements. Very quickly, the base of society, that being how things are produced, then dictates the superstructure, or everything else from culture, the news, politics, etc. Think of the base as the canvas and the superstructure as the painting. At the base, you've got this fundamental dynamic or relationship, one between worker and owner. Nowadays, this relationship is a bit more blurred and complicated, but fundamentally, at a basic level, this is the relationship: someone who owns and someone who works. Both of these people want to make as much money as they can, in the easiest way they can, and in the best conditions, but they can't. Let's say we're in a cafe and the barista wants a pay raise above inflation and they want a break during the shifts. That's going to cost the business and its owner more money. All else equal, at least in the short term, that cost will eat at the profit what the boss wants. These are two conflicting, contradictory desires, and it's at the heart of our economic system. Again, it's complicated, but you get the idea. Because the owner, the boss, owns and directs the business, owns and directs how and what things are made in society, they as a class ultimately have the power. This uneven relationship, one at the core of how we do things, from how we get food to people's mouths to how we transport people overseas, shapes how the rest...
What's up, Shang? This is somebody named Adu, A-D-U.
...of society functions. Now, because this relationship...
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
is ridden with conflict, the people at the bottom, workers, us, are less able to achieve their wants and desires, particularly because they're replaceable. The boss can just fire you and hire someone more willing. So workers formed unions, or they came together and said to the owner, you'll give us what we want or we're out of here. It's much harder to replace 20 workers than one worker. This is called collective bargaining, and we've done this for better wages and conditions, and some unions even associated with political movements completely against and antagonistic towards this basic relationship. Fascism came about as a less than ideal reaction or counter to socialist anti-capitalist movements. Regardless of how you feel about these ideologies, the fact is that, at the time, they represented a break from the status quo. Society was faltering, people were becoming more and more disillusioned with their institutions, their political parties, their governments, and so they joined unions, parties, organizations that were explicitly against the status quo and were willing to fight it. For example, the Beno Rosso in Italy, where the Socialist Party grew to 200,000 members, the Anarcho-Syndicalist Union rose up to 500,000 members, and the General Confederation of Labour grew to 2 million members. To counter these direct challenges to their power and status, challenges that explicitly sought to eliminate such power dynamics, respective sections of respective ruling classes, reluctantly or not, began to back the fascists. Fascists were able to capture mass discontent by offering a different kind of collective identity, one based on one's nation instead of one's class. Instead of class struggle, they proposed class unity or corporatism under one collective nation. Of course, so long as the ruling class subordinated themselves to said nation, the fascist parties were more than happy to accommodate and preserve big corporations and profiteering. So that's what fascism was, a response to people becoming unhappy with society and acting upon it in a way which appeared revolutionary but also retains the base of the ruling class of said society. Every major political party, and honestly most unions these days, are committed to maintaining the profit motive, that being making things primarily to make as much money as they can, and committed to ensuring those who do make that money remain in power. Basically the economic base we just talked about. You may hear the word neoliberalism a lot, and what it is a state-centered hegemonic political project remaking capitalist production and social reproduction since the end of the long boom. Basically, the rate of profit, or how much money businesses were making, was falling in the 1970s, and so businesses, as is in their interest, wanted it to go back up. So through various ways, globalization, privatization, deregulation, austerity, etc., governments intervened to make it easier for the owner class to make money, and a lot of it. At the same time, neoliberalism represented a suppression of unions, which meant workers weren't able to bargain for higher wages as good conditions, meaning there was less cost for the owner class on the labor side, meaning more money and, importantly, power. As a result, the remaking of capitalist production, making it easy to make money, has created an unprecedented amount of wealth inequality. In a bid to capitalize on the lack of unions, the workforce has increasingly become more casual and informal. All of this has created economic insecurity on a mass scale, something that has bred resentment, apathy, and disillusionment amongst large swaths of people. And this is a direct product of the economic system that we live in, a system ushered in by both progressive and conservative political parties globally. The ruling class can't have people, you and me, joining and participating in movements which challenge the base of society, because that's where they get their power from, their profit from. The base is how society produces things, and is where you work for your boss or your company to make products or sell services. They make revenue from that, they pay you a wage, and after expenses, they make a profit. Of course, as mentioned, governments are interested in making it easier and easier for companies to profiteer, widening that gap between you and them. The obvious problem with labeling Trump and MAGA fascists is that there's no likewise anti-capitalist threat. When they do gesture at it, the accusation of being a communist is lumped in with other scapegoats like DEI, immigration, trans people, etc. Socialist parties are minuscule, union membership is at all-time lows, strikes have barely ticked upwards and are at historic lows. However, mass disillusionment with existing institutions is there. Where contemporary fascist movements had to be collectivist and anti-free marketism to fill the role of socialist and anarchist politics, right-wing populists today are able to lean on much more individualism and neoclassical economics. Sure, Hitler privatized a bunch of shit, but the economy was still state-directed in the pursuit of class unity under a single nation. That kind of corporatism simply isn't here today. Neoliberalism, as mentioned, not only has crushed any kind of collective organization like unions, but has suppressed collective identity itself as something valued by people. For this reason, I think the term inverted fascism best describes Trumpism. As put by Morris 2018, inverted American-style fascism differs from European fascism in one crucial way: the role of corporate power in politics of the state. Fascism movements...
The role of corporate power in the politics of the state. Fascism movements in Europe seized the state apparatus in order to restructure society in the idealized image of their respective leaders. In so doing, all aspects of political and social life, including economics and business, became subordinate to the state. Inverted American-style fascism finds the power of capital overtaking and exploiting the state for its own needs. Inverted fascism, bro. First of all, we went over like every single form of fascism the other day. And Conrad was here. We were going through it, and I think somebody in the chat was like, "Are we meant to pick one of these, as like the best one?" But it seemed like Austrian. If you had to pick one form of fascism out of like, I think there was like 17 or 18, the best one seemed to be Austrian fascism, because it had a lot of the hard lines that Italian classical fascism was known for, but it excluded all the racist bullshit that tends to come with a lot of these forms of fascism. But inverted fascism is something I've not even heard of before. Actually, let me see if there's such a thing here. Let me see. Inverted fascism, inverted totalitarianism. Wokeness is inverted fascism plus hypocrisy. Oh, wow. Hold on, let me see that. Just want to make sure no weird windows pop up. Wokeness is inverted fascism plus hypocrisy. This is an attempt to clarify the nature of extreme or complete, quote, wokeness in its modern sense. The central thesis is that it is an inverted form of fascism, and thereby even worse than some of its critics assume. In fact, it is far worse than ordinary fascism, whether or not it is correct to see it as an inverted form. As this is a thesis, it's not a definition, therefore the thesis could certainly be mistaken, but if it is, then sound criticisms of the explanation would be needed to refute it. Interesting. This could be like a cool paper to go over. Inverted snobbery is a form of snobbery, as it is still about looking down on and seeking to disadvantage certain social groups. It just inverts the groups that snobbery values and disvalues. Similarly, inverted fascism is a form of fascism, as it aspires to use the fascist methods of the state allied with corporations to impose its totalitarian rule. There is no official list of fascist values, but we can attempt a non-exhaustive and somewhat... Okay, blah, blah, blah. But there is another major... aspect inherent in such woke fascism. As noted by some critics of wokeism, this is its flagrant hypocrisy. For many of the things that are ostensibly aimed at, such as anti-racism, anti-sexism, etc., are in effect the promotion of racism and sexism, but imposed on the opposite groups. State-imposed discrimination against people who are white, male, heterosexual, etc., by privileging their opposites. And while woke fascists typically allege bigotry in the non-woke or anti-woke, they are themselves usually extremely bigoted. They have no wish to debate or even tolerate their opponents. Another example is what critics call woke speak. By analogy, the newspeak in George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984, it is hypocritical because it is presented as enlightened and unbiased, when it is clearly sinister and bigoted. Oh, I really want to go through this paper at some point. We're going to fucking star this. Yeah. And I'm going to download it too. I'm downloading it right to the desktop so I can remember. Okay. We're not going over this whole thing now, but it seems pretty cool. It seems pretty interesting. Wokeness is inverted fascism plus hypocrisy. So we'll go over this at some point. Remind me to go over woke fascism. Wokeness is inverted fascism, blah, blah, blah. Wokeness is inverted fascism. Okay, same thing. I'm only seeing inverted totalitarianism, really. Inverted excess capital and the rise of inverted fascism. Inverted fascism, the corporation incorporating the power of the state as the inverse of the past fascist model. Liberalism. Okay, whatever.
In Europe seized the state apparatus in order to restructure society in the idealized image of their respective leaders. In doing so, all aspects of political and social life, including economics and business...
No, I think there's two forms of fascism that are not banned. Austrian fascism and woke fascism. We could talk about those. But all the rest, yeah, we can ban those.
Became subordinate to the state. Inverted American-style fascism finds the power of capital overtaking and exploiting the state for its own ends. It's important to understand why fascism was a manifestation of the 20th century, because we can then understand where it comes from and its root causes. Likewise, distinguishing European fascism from American inverted fascism is important because they have...
So let me see. Where was it? Every type of fascism explained in 17 minutes.
Nazi.
Okay, I'm just jumping right to Austrian. Where is it at? Austrian fascism. Here we go.
Fascism was continued to impact various neo-Nazi and far-right groups. Austrian fascism was represented by the Fatherland Front, a right-wing authoritarian nationalist and corporatist movement established in 1933 by Chancellor Engelbert Dollfuss. It was organized similar to Italian fascism, but it did not include racial ideology. The Fatherland Front aimed to unite Austria, protect its Catholic identity, and resist both Nazism and Marxism. The Fatherland Front banned and persecuted political opponents, including communists, social democrats, and Austrian Nazis who sought to join Germany. After Dollfuss' assassination by Nazis in 1934, Kurt Schuschnigg took over but was forced to resign in 1938 when Nazi Germany annexed Austria. It's debated whether the Fatherland Front was a form of fascism. Revisionist maximalism was a short-lived right-wing...
Whatever, there's a bunch of them, but Austrian seems the most based out of all of them. Australian fascism? I don't know about that. Oh, wait, was there? There might have been. There might have been. Let me see. Nazi Maoism. That was a good one. Nazi Maoism. National radicalism. Strasserism. No. No, I don't think that. I thought there were some kind of like native forms of fascism, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was Australian. Austrian's the way to go, though. I gotta say, if you have to live under one, it sounds like Austrian would be the way to go. Space looks brighter than usual. Well, it's daytime, so I don't. Usually when I'm streaming, it's like midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got all the lights off and I got the Christmas lights on. But right now it's like 4:30 in the afternoon here in Texas, so I didn't feel like being enveloped in darkness. Right here at the when I can just open my window and see outside with the sun. A little bit. I live in like an enclosed apartment complex, so I can't see a lot, but whatever. I just wanted to feel like a non-vampire.
Two largely different origins and root causes. The elite today don't need fascism in the same way they did in the 1930s. Today, there is no significant threat to their power. This has allowed the elite to gobble any kind of anger and angst towards existing institutions that exist and envelop it into movements they control. By blaming immigrants, queer people, wokeness, people have been duped into voting for and participating in political movements that they think are sticking it to the guy at the top, but in reality are solidifying their stranglehold on our society, or in the case of Trump, voting for the guy at the top. Right-wing populism rejects the progressive features of the dominant neoliberal ideology, i.e. progressive neoliberalism, while adopting reactionary attitudes. This ideology helps strengthen market fundamentalism. This was a conflict between two sections of the ruling and political elite. The more progressive, rainbow, woke side of it has fallen out of favor. It was ineffective at providing a placebo for people losing faith in institutions. Now the reactionary right-wing side of it has come and provided that effective scapegoat, that feeling of satisfaction, as if the everyman is won. This level of analysis, where we recognize that society is moved by our environment, groups, classes, trends, populations, etc., as opposed to the ideas of individuals, is alien to what those progressive neoliberals, the Democrats, social democrat parties, believe. You'll have Democrats psychoanalyzing Trump, Elon Musk, saying they're fascist adjacent or fascist because they have similar vibes of nationalism and because Musk did a shitty rendition of the AWBC Kyle. They demonize Republican voters as individuals making morally bankrupt choices, holding bigoted and disgusting views that can be debunked and fact-checked away. And while the latter...
The emus outnumbered the two blokes sent out to quell the scourge, 40,000 to 1. Oh, okay, yeah. So what was it, like fucking The Last Stand, like a gladiator kind of situation? Though the Nazis were not even really corporatists in the way that the others were, but there was this lot broader phenomenon of nationalist corporatist regimes at the time, including Germany, Spain, Japan, Portugal, Austria. Yeah, they went over. Japan was one that they went over in that video. I believe they might have went over Spain. Obviously, they went over Austria. Some countries in the Balkans. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, in the Balkans too. They went over a few over there. How Japan actually worked? They had one. They had it here. Where was it?
5. Technocratic fascism was an ideology in Japan and Manchukuo during...
Yeah, technocratic fascism.
1945. Technocratic fascism was an ideology in Japan and Manchukuo during and after World War II. It aimed to create a managerial state with direct government control over politics and the economy. Inspired by Nazi Germany, it sought to combine private and public sectors to eliminate capitalist inequalities and support total war. After World War II, it adapted to align with peace and democracy, but still focused on a state-managed economy and society. Adherents drew on theories from Marxism and Nazi economic policies. Subscribe to not miss out on new stuff and watch my video on every type of content.
Yeah, that was technocratic fascism.
It can be drawn at a personal level. I think it's ultimately unhelpful, shallow, and representative of how ill-conceived this way of thinking about politics is. That we can just vote in the right version, the competent managers of our economic system, then, everything will be fine. And don't get me wrong, lesser evil voting can have its utility, but that's not the argument. Electoralism is not just a be-all and end-all. Voting in the good guys won't cut it. It hasn't cut it. For all the good Obama and Biden policies you could rattle off, personalizing how we analyze politics, treating Trump as a crazy one-off deviation from the system is a fundamental mistake, potentially a fatal one. It's arguably a worse revelation that the people and organizations opposing Trump have this mindset. We have no collective strength. The ruling class doesn't feel threatened. Not only does this mean that there's no substantial resistance to the far right, but it means those progressives like the Democrats are pressured to churn further and further rightward, as that's where the pressure is coming from. If you're watching this and you identify with liberalism, free markets, privatization, deregulation, all that stuff, I don't have to disagree with you on any of that stuff to show you that this system, the way in which you think things should be run, is self-defeating. Ceding more and more power and leeway to private companies, which has fueled inequality, will only spawn movements antithetical to your progressive values, like Trumpism. Focusing on the actions of individuals, standing Luigi Mangione, posting about how cool Ben and Jerry's are for a blog post, saying that if we just have the right guy, then maybe the Dems would win, this is all worse than useless. It gives you the allure, the feeling that you're doing something radical or doing something that's going to change society, which, by the way, I'm ironically guilty of doing as well by making this video. But what I'm saying is that the fact that Trump and co aren't necessarily fascist is actually kind of bad news for us. It means that the ruling class feels so comfortable in its position that all it needs to do is throw out a couple of scraps to ensure and strengthen its position. And you can only get to that conclusion once you depersonalize, once you take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It may sound pedantic to clarify what specific ism Trump and that are characterized as, but it's a necessary step to identify root material causes, that being the consequences of neoliberalism. And that's necessary if we're going to look to any potential solutions or points of action.
What else was there? Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland fire back at TYT.
Great segue into something that I just really wanted to react to with you guys. Gavin will probably also want to react to this with you guys, so double up. We'll get a little both react along. I don't know if I'm going to cut clips of any of this. I don't know if it'll be on Casa del Vanguard. I don't know if it'll just be for members after this stream is over. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please chat, because I do not have anyone to talk to here with me today, so I'll be trying to pay attention to chat and respond to any questions you guys might have in the meantime. But yeah, this was super fun. Got a message from a little birdie the other day that was like, oh, hey, they reacted to your stuff on Majority Report. And I had to check it out. And of course, I'm really excited to react to this with you guys.
Credit where credit's due. That's what this segment's about. This segment's about. As you know, we have been talking about Project 2025 for, I don't know, probably a year at this point. And it has been accelerated by the entry in whatever it was, June or July or August, of the crypto tech bros, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Andreessen et al., who also had a similarly aligned incentive structure to attack the federal government. Look, Steve Bannon said this in 2017 at CPAC, maybe in February of 2017. And this has been out there.
Vogt talked about traumatizing federal workers.
And he and Vogt worked for an outfit. He was doing this in conjunction with the Heritage Society, but he was
Heritage Foundation.
Heritage Foundation.
His think tank was called the Center for Renewing America.
A lot of people speculating that I'm leaving the left. I'm actually leaving Kansas City to go be Nomiki Konst and Bill de Blasio's third.
For Renewing America. That was basically the Trump administration in exile. All right. So here is a clip from the Vanguard about people who were in Project 2025 denial.
So if you just type in TYT Project 2025, beautifully, the first search result, Trump's plan is not Project 2025. Who could believe it? That's crazy. Let's take a quick look and see exactly
What's up, Panda?
what Anna had to say in this clip. Then we're going to take a look at one more.
So I totally believe this reporting. I think this is actually accurate reporting. And if reporters didn't just serve as stenographers for the Democratic Party, they would have maybe found out there's a different think tank that literally has the same slogan as Donald Trump, and they might have reported on that ahead of time instead, but they didn't. Go ahead.
And the people at the Majority Report, I think it was Matt, making a production decision. They were like, we want to feature the more handsome of the Vanguard. So they've got Gavin's luscious long blogs. They were like, this guy's disgusting. He's just slobbering and eating during the production. Let's cut him out of half of a frame. No, I'm just kidding.
His top staffers were connected to it, including Kellyanne.
So this video is about how there's another plan that's, way less concerning than Project 2025. That, all these liberals and mainstream media and all these Democrats, they're freaking out and they want to fear.
It's like Gavin's still here to co-host with me. I can still interrupt him.
Monger about Project 2025, but in reality, there's this other one that Kellyanne Conway is behind or something, and it's way less scary. It's way less scary. Actually, if Trump gets into power, it might not even be that dramatic at all. It's probably just going to be like any other Republican administration, right?
Yeah, I remember we reacted to this at the same time. And to Cenk's credit, this was before he had gone so soft on MAGA. He's actually pushing back on her from what I remember in this clip.
No, he's not. No? This one, he's not. There were other ones where he did. In this one, no, he goes on to say, yep, this is the real plan. I think we can watch him say that right here.
The real essence of Silly and Billy. Me being like, oh, what about this? And Gavin being like, that's not a bad idea, but no, that's not correct.
Way, et cetera. So these guys are definitely in charge. And one of the Trump staffers on his campaign team said, they're not the transition team, but they kind of are. They said, he said, in effect, they are. They've got, because we didn't have time to plan it. And here's a hilarious part of the story before I get to the worst part of the story. They said Trump is superstitious, so he didn't want to talk about a transition team at all before he won, which then greatly delays them.
Either way, that's the main part of that one.
First off, I didn't know, we hadn't played that last part. Any 5 minutes worth of reporting beforehand knew that Russell Vought and the Heritage Foundation was literally building a dossier. I mean, we saw ads. They were literally like the Coalition Provisional Authority going into Iraq. We saw ads of them saying come in and apply.
And I will give Gavin his flowers. That was his segment, and he really did pull the receipts heavy from DYT. Absolutely laid them out. And it is crazy, guys, if we take a moment and just reflect on the fact that after we already had 4 years of Donald Trump, we already had 4 years of austerity. What did Donald Trump do for working people during his first term at all? He gave us the checks. He gave us the checks. Here's what happened with the checks. I loved the checks. I think we should give people more checks, right? Gavin and I have really had it out over the years when it comes to something like UBI, right? But for the most part, I think that just stimulating the economy by giving people money is good, right? I have some caveats when it comes to the fact that if we did it on a permanent scale, landlords would find a way to build that into your rent and steal it from you. But I don't have any problem stimulating the economy with checks, right? That is the number one thing that people point to when they think about Donald Trump. That is the number one success he had. Out of anything that he did, that polled probably the best. How could it not, right? He gave people money. How did we get that? Well, we were in the middle of an absolute global crisis, and basically Nancy Pelosi dared him to, right? Never in a million years would she have thought he would have actually gone along with it, because who does Donald Trump serve? The same people that Nancy Pelosi serves at the end of the day, right? Just on the different end of the table, right? Imagine a long table, one of those super cold, it's lit by two narrow candles, Count Olaf lives there, right? And he sits far away from you. Okay, Count Orlok. I think I called him Count Olaf. You guys are getting the idea, right? They're all eating from the same table. They're all serving the same folks. She dared him to do it. He called her bluff. They ended up doing something good for the American people, only on accident, right? But you can't really tout it as a policy achievement that Donald Trump delivered for the working man. He ran really hard against NAFTA, slammed Hillary for all of the feelings that people had that were anti-NAFTA from Bill Clinton's era, right? Rightfully so. But then what did he do? He did the U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement, which was basically a new NAFTA. It was no better for workers. He outsourced jobs, right? He did all kinds of horrible things for the economy. And really the only thing he delivered on was a tax cut for the rich. All of that being a long-winded way of saying Cenk should have known so much better that what the Heritage Foundation wants is what Donald Trump wants, right? And it is so crazy that they decided to run cover over that specific issue. When if you look back at TYT's history, they've done a good job of always dogging the Heritage Foundation. That used to be bread and butter for them. That used to be almost as frequent as like dogging on some shit that came from PragerU. You know what I mean? Just Heritage Foundation's deeply embedded in the Republican Party austerity measures and has been for decades now. Like the idea that Donald Trump would be breaking from that as he is the power leader of the Republican Party, it just doesn't make sense, right? Which is why a lot of people were skeptical and giving them the side eye when they were trying to defend it in the first place, Gavin and I included.
We need to check all your social media to make sure that you are a loyalist. We're putting you in a file. We'll contact you after. Like the idea.
I mean, in October, right? ProPublica released a video, and the quote was, "We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, when we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. We want their funding to be shut down. We want to put them in trauma." So that, in conjunction with the fact that Vote had previously worked in the Trump administration, and that Project 2025 was authored by over 100 people who had previously worked in the Trump administration, should probably give you an indication that they were very serious about implementing this. And then remember Matt Walsh, MAGA troll, after the election? We don't need to pull it up. People can find it. But he said like, ha, oh, here it is. Thank you, Bradley.
Yeah, we played that in our original clip too. But anyway, pretty cool that they're out here repping the Vanguard over on the Majority Report. A lot of people don't take the Vanguard seriously, right? I'm not going to go so far as to say that anybody at the Majority Report takes the Vanguard seriously, but it's nice to know that they don't think so little of us that they wouldn't play our content, right? And we've had good chats with Sam and Emma on multiple occasions, actually, both of them repeat offenders over here on the Vanguard. Now, I wanted to keep that one a little short and sweet in case Gavin also wants to react to it. That's more of a victory lap for him. He was the one that cut and pulled that segment, but I couldn't resist because I was like, holy shit, this is really cool. Our show was on the Majority Report. Big come up for us. One thing I did want to get to that I'm not sure anybody else has been talking about, and that's the fact that John Iadarola is starting to become an increasingly hot water with the diehard defenders he has his diehard defenders, but even then the walls are starting to crack. Let me rephrase that. John Iadarola is in hot water with people who love his show but hate TYT. How about that? It's way harder to do the show by myself. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, the reality is TYT, after denying Project 2025, after saying that there weren't going to be concentration camps at Guantanamo Bay. Now we know there are going to be concentration camps at Guantanamo Bay. We know that they're going to do Project 2025. We now have Elon Musk as like a puppet dictator, right? A foreign national running our government, who happens to be the richest man in the world, who just gave himself another $400 million in a contract that Dropsite News just broke the other day. They changed the legalese around it, I believe, in response to the reporting that was done by Ryan Grimm and Jeremy Scahill over there. And now it's kind of hidden and a little more covert. But essentially what he's doing is he is raiding the government for more funding for his companies, and he is cutting every loose end everywhere else. So he doesn't care about the Department of Education, right? Linda McMahon is going to be confirmed just so she can oversee the gutting of the public education system, right? He doesn't care about OSHA. He hates OSHA, right? He doesn't care about the NLRB. He hates the NLRB. He's not going to give funding to working people. He's not going to give funding to sick people. He's not going to fund cancer research. He's going to fund SpaceX. He's going to fund, his internet companies. He's going to fund whatever startups he thinks he can milk for cash. Anyway, the walls have been really burning at TYT for a long time. It has been a long time coming that anyone with progressive bona fides has probably got to say their goodbyes. Now, I've been really reluctant to push for this on this show, and I'm still not going to. A job's a job, a job, right? John Iadarola has worked so hard over at the Damage Report to build it into what it is. Let me go ahead and check really quickly and see how many subscribers. Over 1 million subscribers for the Damage Report. That's 1 million subscriber channel that is for John Iadarola, right? So it would be ludicrous for me to sit here as a guy who doesn't even have 100,000 subs to my name, right? Half of that really because Gavin, obviously, and really more like 45% because Gavin's put a lot of work into this fucking channel. You know what I mean? And we don't even have close to that. So it would be nothing but hubris. It would be wrong. It would be totally out of hand for me to come up here and be like, John should quit. John should leave TYT. But I do think there needs to be more of a discussion for what happens with the true, authentic, reasonable voices over at TYT. Now that they're awash with Polymarket money, right? Now that they're awash with, really corporate, shady, Peter Thiel funded, illegal in the United States Polymarket money, and not just Polymarket money that is smearing other leftists, right? Gavin cut a clip of this the other day before he fell ill. Bertie sent us this. Did Kamala Harris buy ads on the Majority Report, right? Does that sound familiar? It might, because guess what? Anna Kasparian tweeted it the other day. This is her running a different correction, but we can, but you guys remember, let me see if I can find it really quickly. Anna Kasparian Majority Report Kamala ad. Let's see. Here we go. Emma, you should probably be open about this Harris campaign's ad buy on the Majority Report too. Maybe that's why you were cheering so hard for a woman who shooed away any left-wing activists who wanted to ask her legitimate questions about her foreign policy in the Middle East. So here it is, a blatant smear. And now from the Polymarket studios, we see it appear right over here. Polymarket, did Kamala Harris buy ads on the Majority Report? 7% say yes. And it looks like you can trace it back to February the 3rd, okay? Now let's go back and see really quickly, when did Anna's tweet come up? Oh, God. See, this is why it's no fun when you do a show by yourself, because you have to pull everything up every time. February 2nd, right? So the day after this tweet, we've got Polymarket placing a bet on its market for did Kamala Harris. That's all it took, was somebody who is being bankrolled, financed, and paid by Polymarket Studios to get a bet on there. And it looks like only one person ever decided to.
Yo, what's up, Admiral? How you doing? Sorry, I'm getting my I forgot, I gotta get my lottery numbers in real quick, so I'm getting those done. I'm listening to it, but I'm getting my lottery numbers done real quick.
Spend money on it, right? A very, very low popularity. It's only
Powerball's at 195 million. Texas Lotto, it's only 5 million, but I'm gonna still play it.
Done $1,271 in trade volume. That is nothing for Polymarket, but I do think it's more than a little suspicious. that, this all happened. And one more time for the people in the back, this is Anna admitting she was wrong about Project 2025.
All right, back on TYT. Cenk and Anna with you guys. More news.
So I just want to address something. I was wrong about Project 2025. MAGA hates Project 2025, and I thought that Donald Trump actually cared about his base, because in his first term, he seemed to be swayed by his base. He seemed to listen to his base. This time around, not so much. So Russell Vought, as the head of the Office of Management and Budget, and considering what he just did with the consumer finance.
Right. So anyway, all that context, right? You could see why people are pretty frustrated with the Young Turks, not to mention the way that Francesca Fiorentini was treated, not to mention the way that their union efforts were treated, right? Gavin and I have been on this beat for a long, long time. We always get chats about it. Why are you guys covering this all the time? Because we have been sowing these seeds for a very long time, and we believe when the most powerful progressive media company on YouTube, on New Independent Media, which is one of the most powerful forces in all of politics, right? We have to understand that, right? More people are watching YouTube than are watching cable. That's for sure. So we need to be competing here. And when you have 6 million subscribers, that automatically gives you clout. And when you are out here validating horrid conservative talking points like, oh, the fires were started by homeless people smoking drugs. Oh, we need to spend more money on cops in Los Angeles. Oh, Rick Caruso, billionaire real estate developer. That's the guy for Los Angeles mayor. It would have been one thing if they had supported a long shot progressive candidate that had no chance of winning and then decided to, from the left, constantly criticize Karen Bass. I would have no problem with that. If they'd stuck their necks out there and been like, no, this is our mayoral candidate for Los Angeles. The Young Turks is going to organize. We're going to have events. We're going to be at places. We're going to door knock. We're going to make this leftist candidate ours. And we're going to uplift them because we cannot get behind Karen Bass. We think that she reeks of corporate liberalism. We do not think that she has the people of Los Angeles' best interest at heart. I would agree with all those things, and I would applaud their efforts, right? What they did was they went with the even more corporate guy, the guy that hated homeless people even more than Karen Bass does. The guy who wanted nothing good for Los Angeles except to privatize it even further. The guy who paid for private fire trucks to use the limited water to fucking protect his shopping center that he owned during the Palisade fires just a few months ago. Bad people. They took $20 million from Jeffrey Katzenberg, right? What happened after that? They started parroting a lot of anti-homeless rhetoric. You know who says a lot of anti-homeless things? Jeffrey Katzenberg, right? You can't call yourself independent media while taking billionaire money. They do it all the time. So the chickens are starting to come home to roost. And this isn't the first time we've brought it up on our channel, but we've been getting more and more calls to address it. And I think it's really starting to crack. We know that they're in bad financial straits over at the Young Turks. We know that they're not getting as many memberships as they used to. We know that they're not getting super chat as often as they used to. We know that they're not getting as much views as they once did, right? That's why they had to, stick out their hat and beg Mr. Polymarket for enough money to keep the lights on, right? Because they'd ruined their reputation with their audience. They'd absolutely belittled themselves. They had made themselves no longer synonymous with a movement, no longer synonymous with progressivism, and now they're just casting out to random YouTube audiences of politically aware individuals. That's what they're trying to do now, or worse, right-wing individuals. We haven't even gotten into Cenk's tour of breaking bread with right-wingers, hanging out with...
If West Virginia and Virginia were combined again, do you think they'd vote for Harris or Trump? I don't know. That's a good one. I've seen some pieces about parts of West Virginia that you would think are just like absolute rednecks or whatever, and would just by default vote Republican. But at the same time, apparently there's a lot of unions out there, so I don't think it would be as clear cut. I think if they were combined, it'd probably go Harris. Because, you're going to have, major metropolitan areas like, I don't know if D.C. would be counted in a Virginia vote like that. Does D.C., I don't even know. Is Trump by, half a point? Okay. No, D.C. doesn't count? Okay. Well, could be. It could be.
Dr. Phil after he gets back from doing ice raids. How about Anna Kasparian hanging out with Glenn? I just put out a video about going on vacations in the Gaza Strip. Beck, oh, you guys have a bunch in common. I can sit and have a reasonable chat with you, but not anybody on the left, not Mike Figueredo, not David Dole, not Emma Vigeland, who you've relentlessly smeared. So there are all these reasons that people are upset, right? I'm rambling on and on, right? Because I don't have a co-host to chime in and play the Oscar music to make me shut up and say something more interesting, right? Again, I apologize. It'll be back to normal in a few days. But let's zoom in over here on this, little innocuous message from John Iadarola. He says, read why our members trust TYT as their #1 online news source. Here is a little bit of a endorsement from some random person named Jenna W. I think she's Anna Kasparian's neighbor Jeff's wife. So shout out to Jenna. Really appreciate that. Anyway, you read the comment section down here, guys. It ain't looking good, okay? People aren't happy. And when you make a post on your YouTube channel, here's something that I can tell you guys from the inside. I love making YouTube posts. You know why? Because the people who watch our show the most and who...
Is TYT even really hurting that much?
So there you have Zelensky accusing Donald Trump.
Does it say how many? They got 6 million subs. They got about 2,500 people watching.
Of living in a
I wonder if those numbers hit. I wonder if those numbers took a hit after the election, or after Cenk went on with fucking what was it, Charlie Kirk? I guess he went on a Turning Points USA conference or something like that, and
information space that he's a
This also sounds like someone who spoke too much for months and is finally learning about dissolution. That channel, the Vanguard, they make their bread and butter off shitting on TYT. That's their main source of content.
Essentially regurgitating some of the disinformation that is specifically sourced from the Kremlin, from Vladimir Putin and Russia. And as you can imagine, Donald Trump did not take kindly to that line at all. In fact, he decided to escalate their spat.
But still, though, I do wonder if TYT's numbers took a hit. Like Cenk going on with Charlie Kirk, he got absolutely crucified for that. Anna, people have been talking about Anna becoming right wing ever since Birthing Persons. I just wonder like what kind of hit their numbers have taken over the past year or so.
Through a social media post on Truth Social, of course, where he called the Ukrainian president a modestly successful comedian before calling him a dictator. Let's give you his statement verbatim. He says, Zelensky refuses to have elections, is very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections, Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. Now, as you can imagine, there are a lot of unfounded claims made in that statement, including the notion that he's a dictator. Now, there is a kernel of truth to what he's trying to get out here, and it has to do with the fact that Ukraine has not held presidential elections. But that is for a good reason. So let me give you some of the reporting on that. Here's what Trump is citing. This is an Associated Press headline dating back to November of 2023. It reads, Ukraine's president rules out holding elections next spring and calls for unity in fighting Russia. Now, Zelensky did, in fact, cancel the elections. He made that announcement in 2023. And here's what he said. Now, in wartime, when there are so many challenges, it is absolutely irresponsible to throw the topic of elections into society in a light-hearted and playful way, Zelensky said, adding that the waves of any politically divisive things must stop. He continues with, we must realize that now is the time of defense, the time of the battle that determines the fate of the state and people, not the time of manipulations, which only Russia expects from Ukraine. I believe that now is not the right time for elections. Now, look, it's also important to note that at a time of war, Ukraine is in martial law and they pause elections. And that's not based on what Zelensky has.
Yeah, he's been on Piers a lot. And Andrew Wilson's actually made a few. Actually, the last time Andrew Wilson was on, it was just him and Destiny. I'm surprised does Piers Morgan not know what the fuck Destiny's been like? This whole shit with Destiny dropped weeks ago, and he was on there last week, I think, with Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan. So I don't know if Piers Morgan just doesn't know what's going on with Destiny, but I imagine that someone accused of the things that Destiny's accused of would not be welcome on Piers Morgan anymore. But I guess Piers Morgan doesn't give a fuck,
unilaterally decided, that is literally based on legislation that passed in Ukraine. And so in order for elections to be held at a time of martial law, at a time of war, they would obviously need to either repeal or amend that legislation. And by the way, I mean, you also have to keep in mind that during the war, and as we speak, Russia has taken control of about 20%, 1/5 of Ukraine's territory. And so those Ukrainians who are now living in occupied portions of Ukraine are not going to be able to participate in a democratic process as they would if they weren't dealing with this ongoing war and with an occupation. And so, look, you can have a problem with the fact that they're not holding presidential elections, but to call Zelensky a dictator, I think is a bit much, especially from a guy who certainly isn't saying that about Vladimir Putin, who's a dictator. He has literally poisoned and killed his political opponents. So again, real rich for Trump to say something like that. But, the argument that you'll often hear from Trump's supporters is, pay attention to what he does, not what he says. And,
here's a gun full kill stream. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. That's awesome. That's an awesome observation, Salty.
Really trying to forge a peace deal here, which I will admit is a laudable goal. I don't have any problem with him attempting to.
I'm done with Vanguard. I'm done with TOIT. Let me see. There was some other stuff here. There was one of these Hassan videos I wanted to check out. Although maybe what was this one about? Games deal for the original because of woke. I'm gonna test this out. If it sucks, then I'm just gonna change it. But It's something about wokeness and canceling Robin Hood. So let's see what happens.
You're familiar with the legend of Robin Hood riding through the Glen with his band of merry men, robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. A great guy he was, lived in the 12th century. They've axed that because Robin Hood is not inclusive enough.
So Robin Hood is now persona non grata. The most internationally famous rebel in the world has been struck out of existence, cancelled by the woke fanatics.
Robin Hood is world famous, obviously. People want to believe in the legend. So it's a symbol of hope and a better world. Kinship, family, tradition, foundations for a better future. And they want to lose all that to pander to modern buzz terms.
Ask ourselves, in all honesty, just how much longer there will be a Nottingham Castle. If the woke fanatics, and that's exactly what they are allowed to succeed in eradicating our culture.
Fortune tellers, get the dope with your horoscope. Oh, how gracious and generous.
Sire, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to lose. Let me see the script. Who do you think of when you think of real proper British heroes? The kind that represent everything that is great about Britain. Perhaps King Arthur or Gandalf. Both real historical figures that can never be taken away from us by the woke Stasi that stole.
I always wondered if they were like blending Grok with Dojo. Dojo's like the AI supercomputer for Tesla, or I don't know if it's still called Dojo, but I know during my investing days, right after COVID, when I was really heavy into the stock market, I definitely bought a shit ton of Tesla and made some money on it. But at the time, I was doing a lot of research, and I remember their computer was Dojo, which was essentially just, the model that was feeding the information to all the cars, but for the full self-driving. But I wondered if they were blending Dojo with Grok. Grok was trained with NVIDIA. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Good old Robin Hood from us. Anti-woke hero. Robin Hood. The folk hero from Sherwood Forest who did a bunch of proper British no-nonsense bollocks, like stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Hang on. That does sound a bit too much like something Jeremy Corbyn would say. All right, what else did he do? Well, in that Disney movie, him and his mate, Large Jimmy, dressed up like women to pull off a heist. Hang on. Wait a second. Is Robin Hood woke?
I am giving you Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood.
Let's look into the rest of the stuff. Shot arrows. Not woke. All right, good stuff. Lived in the forest in a camp with his mates. Oof. Sounds like a bunch of bloody hippies. I thought the story was meant to be a British classic. Well, whatever Robin Hood is about, it's still being stolen from us. Good old-fashioned, no-nonsense, stiff upper lip, small penis, big bald-headed Brits. By the woke mob. How, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. A building society, yeah, those people that help you save up for a house, okay. So they used to have Robin Hood on their logo, and now they don't.
Because Robin Hood is not inclusive enough. What?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Yeah. See, I know what you're saying. What kind of woke nonsense is this? Well, get a load of this. The Nottingham Building Society, the woke bastards, not only got rid of our Robin Hood, anti-woke king, from their logo, but they replaced him with the letter N. The letter N! The most woke letter in the entire alphabet. Not even one of the good old English letters like G, B, or JD, like the place where I bought all of my clothes from for the last 50 years. No, the letter N. And do you know what the N stands for? Well, come closer and I'll tell you. It stands for no white people allowed. Me mate Barry from down the pub told me that. The world's gone bloody mad, I tell you. Now get me another pint, will you? I just need to go and take another bump and call my ex-wife. one day she'll take me back. Once the woke mob is defeated, she'll surely come crawling back.
Perhaps we're looking at the gates of Nottingham for the last time. Maybe overnight the wokesters will come and rampage through the city and wreck it completely and eradicate it.
I am giving you Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood.
Hello and welcome to the one and only YouTube show produced by the Daily Telegraph, the only newspaper in Britain that was actually robbed by Robin Hood. Dan here briefly did a stint as the Sheriff of Nottingham, in fact, after the more famous one was run out of town for being too woke. And he was so bad at the job that Robin Hood couldn't steal anything from him, and the whole city went bankrupt. But enough about history. I'm your science and culture correspondent and woke moralist, Bridget Empire, here to tell you about how the dang wokes took Robin Hood, famously a right-wing figurehead and not a socialist snorbut name, from the great people of Nottingham by, and I can't stress this enough, a building society changing its logo.
Where do we begin with those days? Those were dark days. Those were pretty much literally the Dark Ages coming into the medieval ages.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is what the bosses of this... By the way, if you got your money in the Nottingham Building Society, everyone, take it out as a protest. This is, again, Isabel, this is it. Stop this madness. This is insanity.
So is getting rid of Robin Hood woke? Well, Robin Hood is famously a folk tale about a cool archer guy who steals from the rich to give to the poor, which is a wealth redistribution and would roundly be called socialism by most politicians and the media that for some reason are acting like he's some sort of anti-woke hero. Granted, in some interpretations, he fought in the Crusades, which is decidedly not woke. Going across the world to kill a bunch of people because they have a different word for God than you is famously kind of problematic.
Are we the baddies?
But in most of the versions of the story you'll have heard, Robin Hood has a bunch of mates who live together in a forest. They're outlaws, so they're actively not following the good old British law. And they actively keep robbing hard-working British landlords, so basically Robin Hood has more in common with Just Stop Oil than any of the people complaining about his visage being removed from a high street logo was involved with or idolizes. So what are the people so upset about then?
And what about that weird N on their Nottingham Building Society thing? Is that new? I mean, what's the thinking behind that looking like a piece of spaghetti? I think we need to be a bit careful of our mental health here.
Yeah.
Because there are just so many things that you and I could get our blood pressure going too high over.
This corporate wokery is one of the scourges of our time. All these companies that are sort of second-guessing the public, so that there are idiots working for the squiggly Ottingham Building Society. I think, by the way, this squiggly N is they're not very literate. They don't really know how to do N's or something like that.
What are these people so upset about then? What's the deal with this rebrand? Well, before going straight to the bottom of the barrel, I checked out the Nottingham Building Society's explanation for their woke rebrand, instead of doing what everyone else did and going straight to GB News, because yes, this was covered on GB News and Times Radio, like it's an actual news story about a culture in crisis because a logo was changed. But before we get to those very cool and normal opinions, this is what Nottingham Building Society has to say for itself. Well, this better be bloody good. What's changed? First, our name. We're proud to be a building society, so we brought that back into our name. We're Nottingham Building Society, not just the Nottingham. You'll also spot a new logo, fresh colours and a bold new tone of voice. You'll see this new look on our website, social media and some of our letters and statements. Okay, so they changed the logo. There's some marketing copy, nothing about woke stuff. Okay, here's the bit they're mad about. Why are we changing? We've mixed our rich history with a modern twist. We want to reflect society as it is today. For us, that means championing inclusivity and celebrating financial diversity. Consider it a glow up, but for a building society. Changing to make sure we're fresh and relevant for current and future members. We're also here to help you buy a home. Self-employed in your 20s or a 40-something first-time buyer, you'll need a different kind of building society. Helping people buy a home. That's woke. That's woke as fuck. No wonder they had Robin Hood in their logo. That's basically everything he stood for. Oh, what? Sorry, I'm just hearing now that what people are actually mad about is the part about championing inclusivity and celebrating financial diversity. Also, they're getting rid of the Robin Hood logo. A guy who had a diverse gang of various backgrounds who worked outside the law as basically an arboreal terrorist gang to redistribute wealth. A bona fide medieval anarchist. So, these two things don't seem super connected, do they? Sure, some branding has changed, but if anything, they've gotten rid of the most woke part of their brand. An outlaw, a guy who literally shot the medieval equivalent of cops with his bow and arrows so he could rob the local magistrates and the royal family to help the poor and downtrodden. Robin Hood would be down with wokeness. Hell, that bow and arrow might as well be a hammer and sickle for how much work he put in to fighting the class struggle. And do I prefer the UN logo to Robin Hood? No, not really, but I also like history and old shit, so no one should go to me for graphic design advice. I'll just go for the most dated thing possible. And if you really think rebranding to reflect diversity is going to lead to worse outcomes for you, I just have to ask, why? Honestly, articulate beyond screaming about woke, why? Does it personally hurt you when more people are considered besides yourself? Follow-up question, if your answer was yes. Are you 5 years old? All right, well, 5 years old or not, some people who respond to this saga who aren't 5 years old are the ghouls over at GB News and Talk TV. And since they're both known for having about as much journalistic integrity as Russell Brand interviewing Jimmy Savile, their analysis of the situation is going to be as solid as a wet fart. And wouldn't you know it, GB News' very cool and normal headline for this story is "Woke finance bosses ditch Robin Hood from logo to be more inclusive." You ever read a headline and it really looks like the guy who wrote it was constipated? Just me? Okay, anyway, first let's take a look at this vox pop GB News did with this guy they're calling the real-life Robin Hood. Now, this might sound laughable, but apparently it's because he's played Robin Hood as an actor and historian for 3 decades. But also, he's from London, so he could piss off. Sorry, mate, them's the rules.
Well, it's a sad day, isn't it, when a Nottingham company, which has used the iconic Robin Hood logo for over 50 years, is dropping it. I think it's a mistake for the company to be doing that, and I think it's going to disappoint a lot of their customers, because there's a lot of good feeling about Robin Hood. Kinship, family, tradition, foundations for a better future, and they want to lose all that to pander to modern buzz terms. Robin Hood is world famous, obviously. People want to believe in the legend, because it's a symbol of hope and a better world. And his story is really just relevant now than it ever has been. And so Robin Hood's always been of untapped potential. Maybe someday one local company will get it right. Some company that's doing good for the world and building our community into the future. But until then, I'll be leading the way.
The real-life Robin Hood is unfortunately not robbing the rich to give to the poor. That would be too based. Instead, he's here giving an interview to GB News, our local far-right slop delivery service, giving his opinion that Robin Hood stands for kingship, family, and tradition. And, no, the fuck he doesn't. Robin Hood stole from the rich. He doesn't represent kingship, quite the opposite. He represents the nobility of the cause of fighting for common people in the face of systemic opposition. He's literally an outlaw. The king is the law. And family? This guy ran around a forest with a bunch of other men. He was chilling with his bros. And when was his story ever about family and tradition? I mean, if he respected the traditions this guy means, he wouldn't have been taking from the rich and living outside the law. His whole thing was breaking traditions, breaking norms, to help those who needed it most. I don't understand what was going through this guy's head, but it's probably similar to what was going through the heads of a lot of people absolutely losing their minds about this, who seem to have gotten the impression that Robin Hood was a Tory who bloody loved tradition and wouldn't stand for none of this woke bollocks, despite him having about the same temperament as Karl bloody Marx. Take, for example, these incredibly normal reactions to the news that Robin was being taken off the logo.
Stop pandering to minorities and just do money and mortgages, eye roll emoji. Did you pay a 3-year-old to produce it with crayons for you? What was wrong with hashtag Robin Hood? Hashtag go woke, go broke. Boycott. Absolutely shocking. Hope your customers have a good think about dealing with you in the future. Well gone mad. Shocking? How could you do this? Why, I will be withdrawing my money today. Please explain why a silly black squiggle on the green dot is inclusive. More woke nonsense.
Wonder how much your woke rebrand cost? You really don't need to ram your diversity godliness down our necks. Most of us are sick to death of it, and I, for one, deliberately avoid all companies that push it. Cloud emoji, cloud emoji.
That's a woke nonsense, unfortunately. I closed my account. I hope others do the same. Keep your stupid squiggle. Robin Hood's being cancelled then in the name of diversity. I note the Nottingham Guy Fawkes Night Bonfire is also being cancelled. Seems you woke idiots don't have much support. I wonder how many of your customer base have an ethnic minority background. I hope you go bust, clown emoji. Your different kind of society doesn't belong here.
This is just fucking whatever. This is not. I'm sorry I subjected you to 15 minutes of that. Instead, why don't I subject you to something worse? How about that? Incels furious over woke video games again, or German right-wingers are wild. I think that's what I'm gonna do right there.
Bro, this dude is 22 years old, and his racism is like racist in the same way that like a 70-year-old German guy would be. Stop with the Walla speaking und the Shisha. Stop with the Döner, please. Like, what the f? Young German and voting far right.
Germany is heading to the polls. The stakes couldn't be higher. And under-30s could hold all the power as this snap election, called after the collapse of the coalition, comes to a head. I'm travelling across Germany to find out more about what's driving young voters in their droves to support the country's far right. From the party's staunchest supporters,
they came and spray stuff like Nazi and so on,
to those terrified of what this could bring.
And the last time that we saw it was in 1933.
And others who are looking to be heard.
If you don't inherit the wealth of your filthy rich parents, then you're probably not gonna ever have the chance to buy an apartment or something.
Controversial issues are dividing this country.
If you don't like our country, then go home.
And the whole thing is playing out.
Bro, they always, like, why do hogs look the same? They got that same, I don't understand it. Like, they just literally always look the same. What is that? Like, what is about your personal politics that, like, when you go reactionary, you just end up looking a certain way? It does not make any sense. I don't understand it. Hold on. Let me try to stop mocking them. It's called the universally applicable aesthetic. It's just brain rot. So why does brain rot also, like, change the way you look too? Like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, it's not working. God damn it. I thought I could potentially try to fix the camera again, but it's not. It's not even. Okay. Well, we're still
on social media.
Yet another edition of things you can say about white people that you cannot say about anybody else, for sure.
Yeah.
The alternative for Germany is indeed the one and only alternative for our country, our last option.
You're doing the right thing, is what I'm saying. Even bringing violence to the streets. This is young, German, and voting far right. In November 2024, Germany's traffic light coalition, made up of 3 parties, fell apart when the leader of one of the parties, the FDP, disagreed on the future of the German economy. Enter the AfD.
The Tea Party caucus, Tea Party style, Democrat Tea Party style, terrorist lover. I saw the proof. I just saw the proof. I waited 10 minutes to say it, and trust me, I like your uncle a bit, but you are not even funny. What a joke you are. Okay, that's a little contradictory, don't you think? Like, I'm a joke, but I'm not a funny one, I guess. Maybe I'm an unfunny joke. You are shit for this world. Keep getting that money, freak. Leave the world alone. You are poison, really, I swear. Racist? Fascist punk? Yeah, replay this with you shit mouth. It's true, bro. I don't care about any specific whatever. And bro, you make people...
He's talking about Hassan, dude. This guy is fucking crazy.
Hate, trust. F you. Hassan, take it easy. Your mind is middle or try to be. We all need to take 2 hours shit once in a while. Leave the evil nonsense alone. Don't answer. Shut up, idiots. Banned all handguns. We need military law. Hillary fan here. Kappa. Trump 2020. Donald 2020. This is a joke, lol. George Bush 2020 Kappa. Bush 2020. Knut. Trump hot. This guy had such a good nature about him and is now so angry. Knut 2020. Buck Cerny Fanders. Buck Fernie. Buck Fernie. Buck Fernie. Buck Cerny Fanders. You know he's a German chatter because he can't even say CNN. Bro thinks he'll go to jail. Yeah. Okay. I love this guy. I love this chatter. This is one of my new one of my new favorite chatters. I wish I had such whimsy in my life. Yeah. I'm angry, but not even entirely certain as to why I'm so angry right now. You are terrorist lover. I saw all the proof I need. I like your uncle a bit. He's got the reason about the crime.
Talking about Cenk.
Immigration. Uncle. I like your uncle. Well, I waited 10 minutes to say it. He's back to the Kappas. He's back to the Kappas. I love this because he did. Like, this banger that he put forth, he waited 10 minutes to write this. Uncle! This is awesome. All right. Please don't ever leave space_destroyer. I like this man. Keep him to observe. Yes, we will keep him. I will never ban him. Who are you voting for? Space Destroyer. Sorry, bro. GG. Space Destroyer, who are you voting for? Quick, tell me. Please, don't leave. Tell me who you're voting for. I don't care. The People Party. You have to have an opinion. No one. Never voted. Wait, what? Breaking, I interviewed Hamas. You have no motion. Look what this man did. Jesus Christ, dude. I still think he's a federal agent. How old are you? I'm 25. Never voted. Only when I was 18. Yo! So you just don't care about politics? Wait, if you don't care about politics, how the f do you find yourself in this community of all communities? Like, even in the past, like around, I guess the American elections was interesting enough for him. I love when we find a new guy. This is definitely a guy that is new. Also, yeah, I don't care about politics. I've never voted. I have no political opinions. Also, you're a terrorist lover is the perfect distillation of like what most people who call me a terrorist lover or a terrorist lover, like what their political understanding of the world is. That is perfect. Like that's exactly what it is for the most part. It's like people that come in here and it's like, I actually don't have any opinions at all. I'm alone, got no life. Wait, Hassan, I'm not stupid. Oh, don't say that, man. You're not alone. That makes me sad. Okay, now I feel bad that okay, well, chatter, I am not the bad person that you think I am, but you know. But let's make peace. Let's make the peace. Okay, I'm back in. All right, let's continue with this.
A right political party led by Alice Weidel was formed back in 2013 and has adopted a...
Be nicer to people, chatter. It'll make it easier for you to make friends.
Platform based on German nationalism with specific concerns over immigration. Its name, the Alternative for Deutschland, is exactly what the party wants to do. Set itself apart as an alternative.
You see, he called you a racist fascist punk, so he's not really into politics. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Yes. When you think I am a racist fascist punk, then yeah, you probably don't know anything about politics.
To what it calls the political elites. And it's working. In last year's European election...
Yeah, so the guy, who Mr. Cracker? Was that him? With the cracker fucking discourse?
The AfD became the most popular party amongst young Germans, with almost a third voting far right in some parts of Eastern Germany. First-time voters are going to have a big impact on this election, and there are almost 2.5 million of them across Germany. And the AfD are running with it, using TikTok to pull Gen Z voters from their traditional left to the right. Videos from the party are being watched by 3 times more people than any of the other political parties combined. And big names like Elon Musk are publicly backing the party, bringing them a global attention. I started my journey in Germany's capital, Berlin. Renowned globally for its unique nightlife, divided history, and multicultural...
That's crazy. Look.
Renowned globally for its unique nightlife, divided history...
That's a Galatasaray scarf. That's a Turkish man right there.
And multicultural communities. It's here where back in 2015, then Chancellor Angela Merkel welcomed almost 1 million migrants from Syria in an act largely applauded at home and around the world. Politically, this place has always been pretty liberal, despite being in the heart of East Germany, a former Soviet bloc and once cut off.
So a fascist is promoting a fascist party in Germany? Okay. Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about Elon Musk. I thought you were talking about me. I'm not promoting that.
It's often felt forgotten, and that's what the AfD is hoping to capitalise on.
Martin. Hi. George, nice to meet you.
Hi,
George. Nice to meet you. Okay.
I'm meeting Martin. He's 27 and chairs his local branch of the Young Alternative.
I recognise her. Yeah.
The former youth organisation of the AfD that was recently dropped. The German government's branded them extreme.
What's up, Colo? How you doing? Zelensky's a clown? I don't know. What's up, Grumple? How you doing? I'll leave that up to the chat. Alcohol, how you doing? What's going on?
But the AfD said they broke ties to restructure their party.
The shops are...
But despite that, Martin is still campaigning for the AfD. I'm meeting him in the affluent neighbourhood of Charlottenburg. Oh, and he's also brought along his uncle.
What's it like being a young...
Another uncle, but a good one, yeah.
...politician in somewhere like Berlin that's been seen as... you know, kind of more to the left than the right. Is that hard sometimes?
Back in the days, yes, sometimes, because we have a strong Antifa groups here in Berlin. So they attacked us many times. There are some middle fingers, but, or...
Yep, exactly.
Which is a crime in Germany. Which is a crime in Deutschland, I'll have you know. And I got them arrested. They kept calling me German Rietenhaus.
It's fucking real, man. Germany does not fuck around with that shit. Germany does not fuck around. Where is it? I know I have something here for it.
What's interesting to me is
a schoolgirl lied.
Where was it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, Germany does not fuck around with this shit.
In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say, this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy. Free speech needs boundaries. And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated.
In your fears that if people are freely attacked online, that they'll withdraw from the discussion.
This is not only a fear, it's already taking place. Already half of the internet users in Germany are afraid to express their political opinion, and they rarely participate in public debates online anymore. Half of the internet users.
In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say, this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries.
There you go. There you go. Germany does not fuck around with this shit, bro. I mean, that's a whole 60-minute piece, and they earlier, or I don't know if it's before or after that, but at some point they show police raids going into people's homes, confiscating cell phones, detaining people, fucking interrogation, or maybe, I don't know, interrogation, but certainly questioning, all because of, like, you know, some fucking, like, racist or sexist stuff that people put on Twitter or whatever.
They kept saying, Kyle, my name is not Kyle, it's Hans. It was very messed up, yeah.
Something shout stuff like fascist or something else. They came and sprayed.
Yeah, his name, mein Name ist Rudolf, after the reindeer, because I also have the rot nose. Yeah.
Stuff like Nazi and so on.
Were you scared by when that was happening? Were you scared after that? Were you scared to go out and campaign?
You want to keep in mind that you are fighting for a good reason, so it's you push it away, so something like this. Dankeschön.
And there might be topics like migration is a topic that people disagree on a lot. Do you understand why some people who do disagree with how they feel?
Sometimes people say young people and also gay people are more left and green, but not in Germany, not today. And they are really
I'm very gay, and I love the AfD.
Conservative, they are patriotic, and they vote for AfD. I have 2 friends, they are gay, and they lived many years in Neukölln, a part of Berlin with many Turkish people and people from other Muslim countries. And they had problems when they go over the street holding hands, and that's a problem, of course, for them.
Martin's been creating social videos since standing to be a politician. His styles help build a big following.
We do something different in...
Yeah, he's woke, okay? You see, he wants the Turks out because they're not woke. But also, he's not woke. And neither is the AfD. So how does that work? Again, racists love talking about the bigotry of brown people as a negative, while simultaneously they're like, yeah, we want to make sure the bigotry, the homophobia, and all the other hatred is kept in the hands of the Germans, right? We don't like it. We don't like it when the Muslim, when the Islamofascism is doing the homophobia. Or we like it ourselves. We will keep it for ourselves, for the folk.
Social media.
Bro, if somebody was fucking, you know, watching a piece on Saudi Arabia and constantly mocking the accent of Arabs in the region, this guy would be all over that, bro. He would be all over that. Bigot this, bigot that. He would be all over it. But it's okay, yeah. It's okay for him to do it, yeah.
Yeah, then the other parties,
Actually, maybe that's the woke fascism we were reading about earlier. Remember that? Woke fascism? I got the paper. I downloaded it.
First topic is to be authentic in social media, because we don't do like TikTok dances or something else what other politicians do. We only talk to the people, especially young people, in normal ways.
It's not just your traditional TikTok videos that the AfD's messaging is being pushed on. Music is also...
Bro, this song. I have this too. Where is it? Oh man, I have this. Apparently, this is like the song of the rise of the right in Europe. This techno song, and I saw a clip of this guy walking through England with a giant fucking Bluetooth box, just fucking blasting that song. Where is he? Oh, this guy. English patriots play Ausländer raus, Foreigners Out theme tune in central London as public joins in dancing. Apparently this is the theme of the right or something like that. Giant ghetto blaster on the shoulder aesthetic needs to come back. Yeah. That's some 80s shit right there. Yeah, but apparently this is like the theme of the right now.
a huge way to reach these young voters. With track from Italian DJ Gigi Agostino being adopted by the far right. And it's not the only music to do so. Cavalier's 22. His music's been removed from some streaming services for hate speech. Tracks like Doocy Doocy.
Oh my God, bro, they have their own 4G auto blow. Oh my God. Yes, mein Vater owns the automobile dealership down the street in Kreuzberg, yeah. And I use all the monies to make sure I make the video.
And Alpshiba Hotmeister have built him a big following from other pro-AfDers, with videos racking up millions of views.
Yes, ja, mein Name ist 4G Autobahn.
What sort of topics are those forbidden topics that you cover in your music?
Yeah, talking about the big European problem, in my opinion, like migration. And also topics like the LGBTQ, not I wouldn't say problem, but there's like a lot of things going on with those LGBTQ scene clubs. So there's a lot of framing on this topic from the media, like LGBTQ. It's okay to be woke and to be gay. I mean, it's okay to be like this, but not the media framing like 24/7 to say, be like this.
This gotta be a big Asmongold fan, dude. Yes, as doing the gay stuff in the clubs, the gay clubs, the LGBT clubs, yeah. Not good, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Every time I go, they're so sexy. All the men, they're so sexy. Mein lips gets red from the sucking. I can't stop the kissing. I'm always kissing and kissing and kissing. I hate it. I hate the Vogue and the gay.
Or if you don't like that, you're an or something like this.
So shall we have a look at some of your music?
Yeah.
And then you can talk us through what you're discussing. What should we go for? Doocy Doocy?
Yeah, sounds good. Doozy is the name of the remigration plane. Go into the plane and then goodbye. Okay. We don't need you here. Yes.
Why is he dressed like that? Bro, have you heard all the Wallo-Mat in Germany? It's an app that will ask you a series of questions, about 38. Depending on your answers, it will tell you which party aligns more with your views. I gave it to one of them, and they turned out leftist. I have not heard
about
of this
deportation,
app.
essentially?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about like stuff like stop with like Walla speaking, yes? Stop with like smoking shisha everywhere. Yeah.
Bro, this dude is 22 years old and his racism is like, he's like racist in the same way that like a 70-year-old German guy would be. Stop with the Walla speaking und the shisha. Stop with the Döner, please. Like, what the? Yeah, he's 22, by the way. Chatters. Kein Shisha bitte.
Yeah, a typical stereotype for like Arabic guys.
Do you understand some people might be upset if they're gay or they're from a migrant community about some of the things that you discuss? Is that kind of, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Gay community or like left-wing community, they are always anti to everything what we do because we don't have anything common. I don't think this.
Despite those showing the strongest support for Germany's far right, not all young people have decided who they're backing. This is the centre of Berlin, where a stretch of the Berlin Wall once cut the capital in half. I'm meeting Simon and his friends for a night of stand-up comedy.
Good to meet you all.
How does stand-up comedy in Germany work? I feel like, no disrespect, but I feel like Germans are not particularly and intentionally funny people. You wish you were as coherent as this dude? Facts.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Simon's big on TikTok, posting videos aimed at other Gen Z voters about the election and politics in Germany.
Shall we go in?
Is he a lib?
Follow me. Do you know how you're all going to vote? Or are you still undecided?
You really have to convince people to vote in order to stop something you don't want to happen. It feels like there's a lack of
I feel like a lot of German progressives are just straight up libs, right?
Voting for something because you believe in it.
I don't know, like it's very difficult, and that's I think a big problem in Germany.
What sort of issues do you care about? What things are important to you at the moment?
I think the most important thing for me, and I think also for a lot of young people, is social inequality. I think most, if not all, young people feel that the upward social mobility is basically gone to zero. You can study as
EU is very left in general. Come on, brother. No, they're not very left in general. They're very lib in general. Many European Union politics is so insanely slanted to the lib center, which is part of the reason why there's a massive resurgence of far-right politics now.
As long as you want, and if you don't inherit the wealth of your filthy rich parents, then you're probably not gonna ever have the chance to buy an apartment or something.
Oh, sorry. When I'm talking about lib, I mean like liberal from the American perspective. I don't mean liberal and like European. The European left is like American liberals.
It's not an issue that we're scared of immigration, really, but scared for our friends.
Okay.
Because
America is pretty much 70% left, right?
You need to watch a vid on policing speech in Germany. We've been watching this stuff for the past few days. This is a weird stream for me because I'm normally streaming at night, but for the past few days when I was on, me and Conrad, who's from Germany, me and Conrad we've been watching we've been Europe heavy for the past few days, and we watched some stuff on policing Germany. Yeah, for sure. It's fucking. I mean, I had one right here too. Where was it? God, my algorithm has been completely fucked lately. It's like ever since because of the past few days going over a lot of this stuff with Conrad, my fucking algo has been flooded with like Euro right wing stuff, like really right wing. Where was it? Oh, this one's for fucking this guy. This is for Salty. This is some guy from Australia, like moved to somewhere in the southern United States, and he didn't move to like Miami or fucking New York or whatever. He moved to like Alabama or Mississippi or some shit.
People always ask me, like, Jack, why do you live in the South as an Aussie? Why don't you live in Los Angeles or New York City? And I tell them, mate, you guys got beers, you got guns, and you got freedom down here. And as an Aussie, we only got one of those things. So coming here, I get to feel the vibes of a true American patriot, you know what I'm saying? I'll just be walking around, I'll see a guy with like a subsonic missile hanging from his fucking hip, open carry style. But yeah, that's my answer for anyone who's asking. I like the redneck shit. People always ask.
That guy's so based. I have a couple of his videos.
While America is relaxing policies around social media and the internet, Germany is cracking down. We were with the German police as they conducted
You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Oh, shit. Who was that? Grand Designs? Oh, shit. Dun, dun, dun. Grand Designs took the red pill. Watch out. Watch out. We are officially on the red pill arc for the stream. I think it's kind of fitting, too. It's kind of fitting to the kind of content we're watching.
While America is relaxing policies around social media and the internet, Germany is cracking down. We were with the German police as they conducted early morning raids on citizens who'd been accused of hate speech, threats, and inciting violence online. In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say, this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy. Free speech needs boundaries. While America... There's a few clips. Yeah. The police in Germany, hate speech, insults. Yeah, 60 Minutes. I know it's 60 Minutes. I have a bunch of clips from it. That was like a blend of clips that 60 Minutes put together. But there was one where they're actually conducting the raids. That's 13 minutes. Hold on a second. Oh, here's some Aussies. This guy, I think this was like the guy that fucking these guys got arrested. It was like Aussie Day. I don't know if Salty's still here, but fucking Aussie Day has been causing a stir.
Good evening. A gang of neo-Nazis arrested over a racist Australia Day rally has vowed to hire far right-wing lawyers to fight their charges.
Today, the first of the 3 WA members charged over the extremist march in Adelaide returned to Perth as the Premier issued a stern warning. Nick Overall has this exclusive report.
This is James Allen Holiday, a 25-year-old accused of using a Nazi symbol at an extremist rally in Adelaide.
What were you doing there?
Celebrating Australia Day.
He's the first of
I think what they're doing is they're going around, or maybe it's like the case that they're trying to build for themselves in court, but they're calling it, instead of calling it like Nazi, they're calling it like war memorabilia or something.
3 men from WA to return to Perth after attending the far-right march held on Australia Day.
Australia for the white man!
What were you chanting?
Happy Australia Day.
And
Bro, they were chanting, Australia for the white man! The rest must go!
Anything else?
Waltzing Matilda.
Are you proud of that kind of behaviour?
Of course I am. You're seeing Waltzing Matilda and saying Happy Australia Day. What? There is nothing to be more proud of on Australia Day.
Police say the group calls themselves the National Socialist Network. Made up of men, the group is building an online following through social media sites like TikTok.
What does the National Socialist Network believe then?
In Australian patriotism, my friend.
And what does that involve? You don't want to say anything else?
It is obviously concerning. As I say, it's reminiscent of the most terrible time, and we still have a few survivors of that period, including my mum, who remembers those times.
30-year-old Mason James Robbins and one-time Busselton Council candidate Stephen Wells have also been charged for their involvement. Today, a stern warning from the Premier for members returning to our state.
I absolutely endorse the words of the Police Commissioner when he says he will kick down doors to arrest people who undermine the Western Australian way of life
New laws passed in September mean people who display Nazi symbols in WA face up to 5 years in prison and fines of $24,000. But the Jewish community here says tough sentencing needs to back up the crackdown.
If they face consequences which will act as a real deterrent, then we can make it clear that this is unacceptable. It's socially and culturally unacceptable.
But there's no remorse from the accused members discussing online how they do it all again.
So when like the police are like doing all this, my heart's racing. I'm enjoying it. I love it. I love it all. But like, yeah, they could have guns pointed at my face and I would enjoy dying for the white race because it is my purpose in life.
The group is vowing to hire right-wing lawyers to fight their cases. Nick Overall, 7 News.
Because I would enjoy dying for the white race, that guy. Of course, they had to get that clip right at the end just so it lingers. It stays with you. They did it in Adelaide so the cops can fuck right off. I didn't even know this Aussie Day thing was like a big deal, and now I'm fascinated with it. I'm super fascinated with it. Especially what's the other day? It's like the leftists want to celebrate like Origins Day or something. They want like the argument is that they want to move Australia Day to a different day or something. Bloke at the end wasn't an Aussie? Okay, gotcha. What's the relationship between the days though? Like they fall on the same day, so it's Australia Day and like what, Indigenous Day or something, and the leftists want they're saying just move it to another day, just take Australia Day and put it somewhere else on the calendar, you know, Indigenous Day. Yeah, I was like when that was going on, I was fascinated with it because there was bars and pubs that were banning anybody that came in to celebrate Australia Day. It was just a lot of shit. I didn't even know that was like a big deal over there. But now, like every year, right around this time, right around the holidays, Aussie Day is gonna be on my radar. I'm always gonna be checking out, looking for it and checking it out. See what the latest discourse is. Oh, speaking of dying for the white race, this lady's crazy.
This continent, Europe, has been predominantly white for, the entirety of its history. And now suddenly within one generation, a few bureaucrats have decided against the will of the people that we should suddenly be a minority. Why do we agree with that? Or why do we allow that to happen? If you say that, you are going to be attacked. But the only other option then you have is say nothing and have it happen. So the choice is yours, and I've made my choice.
Like my algo has been completely just pushed all the way to the right. All the way to the right, man. See, I got a bunch of Nick Fuentes, a bunch of Alex Jones in here. Pierre Poilievre, whatever the fuck his name is. Owen Schroyer, Trump, PBD. Oh, this guy. This is that Aussie bloke that lives like somewhere in like southern U.S. Usually celebrated simultaneously as everyone is there as an Aussie. Okay, gotcha.
You want to know what I realised after moving to America, specifically the South? Aussie rednecks and bogans are the same people. Rednecks like to drink, okay? Aussies like to drink. Rednecks like to shoot shit. Bogans wish they could shoot shit. And the rednecks, they love freedom, mate. Aussies wish they had some of that, but we live in a proto-communist state, so shout out Xi Jinping. Fucking 500 social points, son. But yeah, man, like Aussies and rednecks are so similar, down to things like the mullet, just the way of life. Leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, but if you're coming round, let's get some beers. When an Aussie bogan and a redneck have a conversation, it sounds like a door hinge and another door hinge squeaking at each other. Hey, mate, how you going, you fucking yeah? Brother, yeah. Yeah, we're probably morons, but we're happy, so that's that. You want to know what I...
What's a bogan? What is a fucking bogan? Bogan's a suburban redneck? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Australian redneck, I think. Okay. Here's a fucking redneck right here.
They're all playing that good D.
They got that good D.
Got that good D. They're getting back there. Bam! Hit them, baby. That's what I like.
Good D.
Good D.
That guy. Oh, this is good. We need to send the Palestinians somewhere.
Where? Where?
Where, Dwight?
Seems like you already know where.
Oh man. I gotta send that one. Or I gotta play that one for fucking for Conrad. Okay. Let me get back to this real quick.
Yeah, totally.
What sort of
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we're such a famous. We're famously very leftist in this country. Our left party wanted to do, like 30% less deportations. So that's the best position you can get to.
If your friends had bad experiences in the run-up to the election?
They had a sticker in their house with remigration, like in their area everywhere, and just like talking badly to them because they don't speak German that well. Stuff like that happens all the time. And it's people that have been here for generations and just have like a last name that doesn't sound German or don't look German, and those are the ones that all the anger is directed towards, which is so unjustified. Yeah.
They feel this chaos and they can't really place it. And then the AfD swoops in on TikTok and tells them, it's the foreigners, it's the feminists, it's the, it's the communists, it's the people in Berlin, the people up there that caused this. And this might swing young people.
How is the European left like the American liberals, or did I mishear you? No, I'm saying that a lot of the European progressives, a lot of the European progressive youth are still, they have a lot of American liberal style tendencies, especially when it comes to European, like Europe foreign policy, or even now, I mean, I guess like maybe not on attitudes of immigration. They're like Ezra Klein style liberals. Yeah.
In one, in one direction. I totally get why someone who maybe is not living in central Berlin or in Munich or whatever.
You view everything from the lens of America. It's not about America. Yeah, because I'm an American and my audience is mostly Americans. I'm trying to explain to Americans what European politics resembles. Also, make no mistake, do you think I have this false notion that America KKK is in any way, shape, or form progressive or left-leaning? Hello? What left alternative is there in the United States of America? Like, I spend probably 6 out of the 8 hours of the day shitting on every facet of American politics. The one time I turn around and say, yeah, a lot of Euro style, like a lot of Euro left is also kind of like liberal adjacent on many key issues. And everybody goes, oh, well, what about your country, huh? Ha, ha, ha. I got you good, yeah. You don't know, stupid American pig. I know, dude. I know. We don't even have healthcare. They'll kill you if you advocate to raise the minimum wage. What do you mean?
Why they're just like, maybe screw all this, I'm not voting. Or who are feeling, I just want to give the biggest middle finger I can give to the ones up there, to the elites. Yeah. And the AfD is coming to them and they're saying, I'm your middle finger. Vote for me and I'm sticking the finger to all of them. And I can totally understand why someone would feel like that.
What was the reaction when you found out there was going to be a general election? Were you like freaking out with all that?
When the news broke and the German government fell apart, we were at the opera. And
I think it was also the same day that Donald Trump was re-elected.
Yeah, it's a big day. And before the opera started, I was like, on which break do you think the government is going to fall apart? And then the second one it did.
One of these AfD guys came to my door to give me a flyer. I opened the door. He saw my face.
And he left. You made it. Well done. Well
Before we leave for the night, I've still got one more question for Simon. Are you and your friends being served a lot of political content, whether it's ads from parties or speeches from certain leaders? I mean, is that a big thing that you're exposed to on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, TikTok has been disregarded by by most of German politicians and parties until, I would say, around about a year ago. But the far-right party, the AfD, they have been doing TikTok on a very high level for years, and they have a head start that is unimaginable. They have more followers than all other parties combined. If you create a new account, how much content by the far-right party, by the AfD, and by its politicians, how much content you see compared to how much content by more left-leaning parties you see. You can't really escape it.
One of those who's been instrumental in the success of the AfD on socials is Eric Achens. He claims to have developed the way they make their content so good.
To have an impact, you can't just be a regular politician who talks about politics. You cannot just post your parliamentary speeches and, you know, talk about the economy or whatever.
Ugh.
You need to be a real world person, someone from the streets. And this is how we, and at the same time though, larger than life. So you need to be a social media star, basically. You need to be real and approachable. And at the same time, you need to be larger than life. And we are living in revolutionary times, and social media is changing everything and the way media works.
And with a young leader like Alice Weidel, who's also an engaging speaker, it's no wonder that AfD's videos do so well.
Alice Weidel, the head of the AfD, she has a real fandom around her. Like, there are a lot of people who are fans of her, and it's like a people cult, like a fandom around one person, one politician, and that...
Bro, how is, like, come on. Donald Trump at least is literally a TV star, okay? And he's unironically very telegenic. He's zesty as... He's very telegenic. Like, Germans look at an accountant wearing a turtleneck and go, oh mein Gott, ich kann nicht glauben, this is the greatest television star, she's beautiful. Oh mein Gott. How can you develop a cult around this, dude? How is that even possible? I genuinely don't get it. She looks like the lady that did Theranos. The one that changed her voice, Elizabeth Holmes. Like, what is this? Your job is the exact opposite, but yet the exact same aesthetically. Don't pretend that's not exactly your job, too. Maybe some more political thought and longer because there's a format on the opposing side, but you're the same. I'm confused as to what you're saying. But if you're saying, like, yes, make politics more approachable and more palatable, yes, that is, in the most reductive terms, that is what my job is. She has more riz than most people in the Bundestag. Have you seen Scholz? Yeah, I have. He is the bad boy. He is known as the bad boy of the Bundestag. Did you not see him standing in the corner of the podium? He is a bad boy.
That's very unique because there is no other politician in Germany at that moment who has a fan base like that, like creating videos. The algorithm of the platform works for like polarizing, populist speeches very well.
These videos are having a real-life impact. I'm heading 200 miles south to Erfurt.
Do you realize that Germans are watching you and you are doing the accent? Yes. Because I realize that Germans are watching me and they're thinking in that accent. And when they speak English to their mobile phones or the desktop monitor, yeah, they sound exactly like this. They're like, Hassan, that is not how I sound. Why?
Right. I love how
capital city of the German state of.
I love how impressed he is with himself too.
Thüringen has always been a right-wing stronghold. After all, it's where the Nazis first entered regional power in 1929. In 1935, Adolf Hitler staged a mass rally here that was attended by 75,000 people. Today, the regional branch is led by Björn Höcke, a controversial figure who was found guilty and fined for using a Nazi slogan on 2 separate occasions. The regional government now classes the Thüringen branch of the AfD as a far-right extremist group. I'm meeting Azra, Kim, and Helene. They're second-generation immigrants who are watching the place they call home
They gotta be woke.
Become more hostile. The girls are German and have lived in the area for most of their life.
Was Höcke the one that was the German teacher who like denied the Holocaust, or was that a different AfD guy? Or was he also one of the AfD guys that also denied the Holocaust? The answer, yes, doesn't really whittle it down. Yeah, oh, he's the history teacher. Okay, oh, that's the one. Yeah, he's the worst one, right? Out of all the AfD guys, he's literally like the most annoying one who's like, oh, I didn't mean that. By German law, you can officially call him a Nazi without going to jail. Yeah, that's a cool guy to have as like the most prominent figure in your party, as you basically substitute him with a symbolic figurehead that does slam dunks on TikToks and SJW-owned compilations, who is a lesbian woman who lives in Switzerland with a Sri Lankan wife, so that you can be like, what do you mean? AFC is not racist. I mean, look at my lesbian. Meanwhile, the other guy is literally doing Hitler speeches in German, in the original German. She said, I'm not queer. I just live with a woman. That's...
No, what's up, Anuka? No, I have to close the laptop for the day, but I'm getting out of here in a little bit. I'm going to go watch the USA-Canada game. I'm just finishing up this Hassan video real quick.
Awesome.
But are increasingly getting scared about their safety.
I came to Erfurt with my family and we just went shopping. And
I don't know. I mean, like, you know, USA came out fired up last game, and, you know, on the backs of the whole fucking booing the anthem. There was a lot of shit talking between the players. It was 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game. But Canada's still a fucking good team. Like, it can go either way. It can go either way. You know, it was a good team, and I'm rooting for Canada. Okay, well, I'm not going to be rooting for Canada, that's for sure. But they do have a good team.
And we were talking in Turkish to each other, and someone behind us said, "Ah, scheiß Ausländer." And this is something which I still, like, which is still in my head, and which I can't just forget. And what's hurting the most is because, like, I was born and raised here. This is my home. This is what I know, and I'm not foreign here, even if I maybe look that way, but...
So what's that like when someone basically makes you feel like you're not German? And
the song that they were playing, the reason why it got popular for the AfD crowd is because they sing lyrics to it, and the lyrics associated with it is what is it, like Ausländer aus, right? Like foreigners out, or like foreigners out, Germany for Germans, foreigners out. That's what they sing at the protests as well. Like, they briefly showed it without really explaining it. But yeah, immigrants out, Germany for Germans, immigrants out, which is straight up a Nazi take. Now, the reason why I say this for Germany specifically is the same reason why, for example, the AfD is very careful about its language. They specifically don't say deportation. They don't use the term deportation. They use the term remigration. The reason why they use the term remigration as opposed to deportation is because deportation is the Nazi policy. So considering that they're in Germany and a lot of that stuff is either directly illegal or reminds people of Nazi policy, that they have to do this like very funny song and dance around it. Yeah, libtard Hitler shit, exactly. They're woke Hitler. They rebranded deportations.
You're German. You've lived here your whole life.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's putting me into another identity crisis somehow.
Right now in the election, we have people on the top who are praising to taking away the citizenship of people. And the last time that we saw it was in 1933.
I'm gonna start using the Canadian passport abroad. It can for a while until this all blows over. Big sad. Yeah, gotcha. Search video. Tunnel with the Nazi mind starts 1 minute 30 seconds. Well, this is my plan right now. Is I'm gonna finish this and then I gotta go. So this has like 10 more minutes left. So that's the plan. That's the deal. But I should be on later. So come on back, and we'll search up. We'll search a storm of videos. All right.
When you hear words like remigration used, when you hear politicians on the right talk about immigrants in ways that, you know, a lot of people would find upsetting, how does that make you feel when you I don't know, you're on TikTok, you're on social media, you see these sorts of videos, you hear people use these words?
It makes me angry. Of course, I'm asking myself, okay, my mom doesn't have a German passport, what can happen, or things like this. Of course, I get these things into my mind, but it's making me sad that the politicians nowadays are mainly focused on this topic, migration, like as if we would not have any other problems, and all the problems we have is because of the people which are trying to survive, to come to Europe. And this is what I will never understand.
I want to show you a video. So this is from a rapper called Cavalier.
Here, what do you think about this hate crime rapper? That's so funny. Hey, I want to show you this hate crime rapper that says you ain't shit and you should be killed and remigrated. Yeah. His name, Foji Autobahn. But
oh no.
You know, she just one of the popular German parties has used the thesaurus to avoid sounding like they're copy pasting their speeches from Mein Kampf. Yeah, but also not changing the language that much. You know what I mean? That'd be really funny if he showed them not the 22-year-old German idiot and instead showed them Tom McDonald. What do you think about this guy?
And I just want to get your reactions.
How many views does it have?
Almost a million.
Almost a million. Oh, that's so scary.
It's scary that people can take this serious.
Is Germany a place that you'd want to stay living in?
I mean, yes, we're fighting together.
Yeah, like,
I think it's a question we should talk about.
I learned about that Türkümüz song from your stream, and I didn't know it was a far-right nationalist thing until my Turkish friend heard it and had to tell me. Thanks for that. I literally told you guys that Turkish trap song that I play is like an insanely racist, far-right ultra-nationalist song. I play it to make fun of it all the time.
So I think...
Wait, what did he ask
living
them?
In?
Wait, did he play the racist song and then went, you still want to live here? He's like, why don't you just get out on your own? Why don't you just do remigration? You know, before they get to you and force you to remigrate. The old German way. That's
we're fighting
crazy.
together.
Yeah, like,
I think it's a question we should talk about. So I think it's more about, because this should not the answer to leave, it should the answer to find a solution for humanity, I guess.
This is our home. Like, we were born here, we lived a big part or almost our whole life here, and I don't know, like, why should I leave my home, or where should I go?
I've come to the city of Potsdam, where one of the AfD's last pre-election events is taking place, just 2 weeks before the big day. But the counter-protests have already begun. Here, hundreds are gathering to openly show their support for the party, something that would have seemed unimaginable just 5 years ago. Backing the far right is no longer taboo.
Eure Kinder
square in the middle of Potsdam where the rally is taking place, and it's kind of an unusual feel for a political event because it's a bit like a party. There's lots of loud music, lots of dancing, and unusually for an event like this, I guess, lots of young faces, and a lot of them are right behind me.
See, yeah, they're playing the...
Migration ist das Wichtigste, weil schon seit Jahrzehnten die Geburtenrate.
Kind of crazy. This is in the former East Germany. It's not that crazy at all. It is the same principle that I maintain all the time, which is that when you don't actually develop areas and you basically leave them behind, and there is insane economic inequality, that creates a perfect opportunity for radicalization. That's all this is. Like, you mean German birth rates drop, bro? Look at you. You're the reason. You're unfuckable, Hans. Look at you. You're gross. Anyway, listen, my point is, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for an area like East Germany, that even after reunification did not like adequately develop to basically create this perfect environment, this perfect volatility that causes causes people to be hostile to liberalism and react in this way. East Germany was bought up by rich West Germans, and they don't pay taxes. East Germany, so many are still poor as the areas were never developed at the same pace. Yeah. West Germany destroyed the GDR industry. Young people went away. Nazis went to the XDR and used the socioeconomic hole. Same old fascist playbook. It's funny to see German Nazis because they just all look like Richard Spencer. Like they straight up look the part.
In Deutschland so niedrig ist, dass wir Deutsche immer weniger werden. Unsere Regierung versucht das auszugleichen, indem sie sich kulturfremde Ausländer nach Deutschland.
Yeah, culturally clueless foreigners who don't respect the endless bounty of German culture.
Importieren. Und das ist aber keine Lösung.
Dass ich mich auf der Straße wieder frei rumlaufen kann, nicht Angst haben muss, dass ich mit Messer bedroht werde oder vergewaltigt werde.
Yeah. I would like to be exclusively raped by Germans, please. I do not like to be fearful of the concept of migrant sexual assaults. I would like the folk to be able to do the sexual assaults instead. Like, what kind of attitude is this? What kind of statement is this?
Aufgrund der migrationspolitischen Themen, also das ist für mich sehr wichtig, dass man zum Beispiel auch in den Nachrichten andauernd sieht, die ganzen Terrorangriffe und alles. Es muss ein Ende haben.
Außerdem geht es ja auch primär darum, die Ausländer rauszuschicken, die kriminell sind, die sich nicht integrieren wollen.
Ich meine, für einen Auszubildenden bin ich ein gut verdienter Auszubildender, aber ich kann mir keine Wohnung leisten, weil die Migrationspolitik dann weg.
Migration is the reason why I can't have good rent. Because all the migrants, all the first gen, second generation immigrants are landlords, famously.
Weg steht. Ich zahle mich dumm und dämlich für eine scheiß Wohnung.
Just a day after the rally, hundreds of thousands of Germans marched in cities across the country.
It's actually unbelievable how many EU races believe this. It's literally what American races also believe. They unironically think that their rents are going to go down if there's mass deportations because they're stupid. Their anger and frustration is valid if it's directed towards the actual financial problems that they're experiencing. The issue is there aren't that many active or popular parties, or at least in America, there isn't really any party that actively addresses those problems and offers solutions. So guys like this come around and they're like, yeah, your rent is up, isn't it? Yeah, it's because of the kebab shops. That's what it is. It's because of the migrants. How long have you had issues with your recording device? Ashish? What? What issues do I have? It's fine. Am I crazy? Does it look different on screen or something? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, the camera is like, yeah, the frame rate is bad. I know the frame rate is bad. It looks weirdly pixelated when the camera is small. Wait, does it? Is the camera overheating? Wait, well, let me see. Let's put the quality on 1080p by 60. Oh, it does look like there's like a weird artifacting happening. It's like too sharp. I mean, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I think you guys are exaggerating. I can't fix the camera because I can't access the program that tethers the camera to my computer. It just like doesn't work for some reason. So in order for me to change the settings of the camera, I would have to manually do it on stream, and that's going to be incredibly complicated. I don't know why it says connect Lumix to the PC. It just like doesn't even read it. It doesn't even read that the camera's connected to the PC, which is odd. Oh wait, it worked. But I can't use the other. Yeah, the other camera doesn't even read. It basically doesn't exist. It's only this. It's only the second camera that actually. It only reads the second camera. I'm gonna fix it after stream. You probably can't pull info because of OBS, right? No, that's not the reason. I'm not trying to be an obnoxious shouter, but as a hostile editor, you've done really well not swearing as much, but that has kind of fell off the last week. My bad. I'll try to get better. On OBS, if you click on scale filtering, it might reduce the noise. What do I do? Point? That's worse. That made it worse. Bilinear? Is that better? I think that might have fixed it. I think scale filtering bilinear fixed it. There you go.
In protest against the AFD. Whatever the results of this election,
Right.
it's unlikely to bring an end to the current political division across the country. With your
God damn, we did so much German news today. Holy shit.
Okay, I love the hammers and the little hammer and sickles everywhere. Look at that. Look at all those little hammer and sickles he's got. Oh man. Okay. Da. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch some hockey. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. And probably be back later tonight. I mean, I will be back later tonight, but I don't know. I can probably get some streaming in, maybe an hour or two. In the meantime, I am going to send you over to one Red Radius. So go hang out with Red, and I will see you guys later. All right, peace.
Go hollow. Backhand into the brittle. Yo, Legate, what's up, dude? How was your stream?